Hey, James. Hope you're having a nice Monday evening. And I will most likely still struggle with my camera a little sometimes, because as I've been saying, my last stream, which has been nearly 2 weeks ago, my mouse wheel is dying on me, which usually it still works, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah, sometimes it makes moving the camera a bit finicky. And we are gonna dive right back into this, which I've been trying my best to not make too much progress on this area. I made a bit and I prepared a little few things, so we're doing less boring things today than we would otherwise. But mainly something happened on accident while I wasn't streaming, and it's all of the surroundings of this area, which I had no clue we were gonna build this. I do think it turned out very nice. I'm actually quite happy with all of this area. All of this is still kinda unfinished. It's obviously no plot seams yet and no super long detailing, but I'm very happy with how the region in general turns out. I think it's gonna do a lot of heavy lifting for both the cinema as well as your shooting range, that it's a bit nicer framed than it was before. I found it a bit weird before that it was kinda by itself here in the back of the city and kinda the border of the city, where I would imagine this to be a bit more framed by things. So yeah, we put some pretty much like you say, some very rural and rough residentials up here next to it. Because what could be nicer than having a peaceful dinner and suddenly having a bullet in your living room? I guess living close to the gun range at least makes your dinners a bit more entertaining, I guess. And then what we did, because I fell in love with this asset, I believe. It's just this small middle part here. This got added from the Specialized Industry region pack. Or not region pack, but creator pack. And it is absolutely stunning. I have to say, it's a beautiful asset. I believe this is part of the same asset and works as upgrade going over the top here. I don't like the upgrade. I think this gets a lot bulkier and bigger. I think this looks so nice because it's so rural. I think the upgrade by itself looks very pretty and it's not much of a problem, because the only issue this update has is this. The mesh here has a small hole in this side, else the upgrade works perfectly fine by itself, and we just put something in front of it so we don't really have to bother with it, which I think works pretty nice. And then again, all of this is nothing crazy, just a combination of the random plop down stuff that will prop up and work out. But I do think this makes a very, very nice area here at the end of the city. And on this side, also welcome in Case Fun. Nice to see you, mate. But yeah, I've been going a bit overboard. I wanted to do less off stream, but especially in the last days, I didn't feel so well. But I did have time, so I played off stream, and these kind of things happened. Which again, nothing crazy, but I do think it's exactly the right framing we need for these kind of things. So we have some more farming around.
Some Latinos up here.
And slowly working our way up in here. And perfect, Elgendo is coming in, because one of the most exciting parts of the build is Elgendo related. We'll get to it right after this. This really is just because I wanted some big space filler here in the back behind all of this, because I do think, looking at this area, this just screams farm to me a bit in the back. I was wondering if my music is too loud, because it feels louder than usually. Thank you for saying that, Elgendo, because I was a bit confused by the volume of the music as well. You guys know I like my music to be there, but silent background music. So if it's louder than this, gladly always say so. Is it better now? And welcome in, Gaga and Elgendo. Gonna wait for you guys to tell me if music. Maybe I made it too silent now and went a bit over the top in correcting it. Maybe it's better. But again, I want the music to be fairly silent in the background. I don't want to have to talk over or against it. I want it to be background music. Okay, it's better. Thanks a lot. Well, honestly, that's perfectly true. Like, part of why I like background music is just to drown out weird background sounds, which may or may not be me farting, who knows. But yes, these, I guess, 3 farms came out together. We do definitely have to detail them. I did some slight pre-detailing in this and this one. This small thing here is entirely undetailed for now. We'll have to dive into that. But again, I'm quite happy with the general area, because for once, this and a second one that we'll have a look at in a moment are the first 2 custom assets we're using. And goddamn, what an absolute standard this building is. I was super happy to finally use this. I did not think that we'll get an opportunity to use it as quickly. Welcome in, Peanut. Nice to see you here, mate. But yes, absolute goddamn standard. And again, for my first stream since the asset editor, so I've not shown anything yet. But this has to be one of my very few favorites out of the stuff that's gotten dropped so far. Bad Peanut also, I'm not sure in which Discord he said it, but Bad Peanut spoiled something that got obviously me very excited, because we like decals over here. And if I've seen correct, Bad Peanut said soon TM after somebody asked about decals in the editor, which decals are already kinda possible in a bit of a hacky way. You can convert EIA packs and then use a script of Triton to still get decals into the editor. But I guess we'll soon get actual proper decal support in the editor as well, which is exciting. And honestly, you guys know I've never played CS1 properly. I've never used the editor in CS1. So for me, wholeheartedly, this is very exciting. I never had an editor before, and I have one now, and I love it. I love this building. I also love this building. This is one of the builds that we'll tackle in after today. Today I want to build out Jay's shooting range, because we've been promising that for a while, and I cannot let Jay down any longer with it. But this is gonna be Elgando's headquarters in the city. You guys know we like to have gangs in the city. We already have a biker gang, and we already have a scooter gang. So we currently have 2 gangs in the city. There is a 3rd gang forming in the city. This is gonna be their headquarters, and you can already have an idea. Maybe they do some sketchy business. I don't know what Elgando is up to, but I can just see that here, very hidden behind the garage, there is a small tunnel. Where does this small tunnel bring us to? It brings us to the other side of the rails. And what kind of things is Elgando doing here? I'm not entirely sure yet. We have not built this out yet either. But this does seem a bit sketchy for me. This is from the road, not really visible. I'm not sure if that is meant to be not visible from the road. I don't want to ask too many questions. Elgando pays me well as a major to not ask too many questions, but it's there. And I deleted the floor, Elgando, of course. Just because it's your asset and I love you does absolutely not mean that I won't go in and right away delete the surface you placed Oh, now this is interesting. Maybe Chaos is gonna try to steal Elgando's gas station. I will have to be a bit of a bitch. This belongs to Elgando. You can claim anything else in the city, Chaos, but this gas station is Elgando's. Well, okay, you get the water burger, and in all fairness, as if any of your businesses has enough customers, Chaos, as an owner of Chirpies and the entire Chirpies franchise, I'm sure this is a problem you are very familiar with in your franchise, so good enough. And let me catch up on chat real quick. Bad Pina says, true, soon TM is anytime. Yes, I mean, of course, I know it's... Let's say, while I did not play Cities 1, I already adjusted to the Cities timeline. We seem to have a general slow timeline with slow progress. I don't mind. I'm a very slow builder, so if something releases in a month from now, then that means I will be able to finish a small block somewhere in a corner. So wholeheartedly, slow timeline, not a problem for me. I'm excited if we get proper vanilla decal support. Can't wait for it. Is one of the things where I'm sure we'll see a lot of garbage, but also a few nice things, which I guess is very much in line with how the editor has been so far. Because there is a lot of garbage. And there is a few very, very cute assets, which I said it a few times before. I don't think it's a problem, even if we get, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% of good assets. That is still a lot of good assets, especially if people, I would assume, start uploading more, because stuff like the vehicle editors and such is barely documented, so there is a lot of figuring out on the modder side. And I'm sure if there is more finding, stuff will also keep up more. And this already is a bit of a pre-taste for Elgando's headquarters, because I said Elgando is getting his own gang. I think, looking at this should give us a bit of an idea of what kind of gang Elgando is the leader of. Because this is part of Elgando's gang that are doing nonsense here on this not properly used kind of ring parking lot. And obviously Elgando and his Miyata gang, there I said it, they cannot behave. They're doing all kind of nonsense. They're drifting and making donuts around this parking lot, which is obviously a big no-go. But I don't know, the police is right next to it and they don't really seem to care, so who am I to talk as a major? But yes, this is what we've been doing off stream. It's actually, at least for my standard, quite a lot of expansion in quite a little time. So we are gonna dial back today and actually go into those places and detail them out real quick. But for a moment, I still have to fawn about the custom stuff, because I mean, Elgando's gas station, absolutely beautiful. I love this thing. I annoyed Elgando a bit because there actually is a wall here in Elgando's asset. And I think that wall is beautiful and works really well for wall-to-wall neighborhoods in more urban, dense environments. In my environment, I hated the wall, so I asked Elgando if he can delete the wall for me. And Elgando has been so cute that he deleted the wall for me, so we have a kinda custom version of this. But yes, beautiful gas station. I love it. This is beautiful. And now comes a catch, because maybe, if you guys have paid attention, if I look something like this, there is a very nice custom asset you guys are looking at right now. It should be very obvious. Maybe if you don't know what it is, it's hard to see, even though it should be very obvious. And what cute custom asset are we looking at right now? The power line, yes. And is this thing not absolutely beautiful? I couldn't believe it, because I've seen this power line and I was like, God damn, that looks beautiful. I did not expect it to make such a difference, to be honest. I didn't replace any of the old ones yet, even though I think we will do that in at least the major parts of the power lines in future. But let's go back to the old one. Here is the switch. And wholeheartedly, it's not even just the additional cable. It's also that it's a bit thicker, it's a bit darker, it gives a bit better contrast. This one is super nice for very rural and small places. But then, especially for a place where you're going next to the main road, holy heck, is this one beautiful power line. I was very excited, and just while we're talking, there is another custom asset coming in. I've not added many yet. I've added the ones that I think fit Los Vagos well and got me very excited. This one I had to include just because before this even got released, I decided El Gendo will get his Miata gang. And after I decided El Gendo gets his Miata gang, this thing got released on the editor. So wholeheartedly, El Gendo already bought the police. I guess we're dealing with Latinos here. I should have expected nothing else than an immediate state takeover. So by now I'm a little scared of having El Gendo in Los Vagos, not gonna lie. But I guess the police already, at least partly, is on El Gendo's side and joined the Miata gang. So scary, wholeheartedly scary. What burger joined? Maybe. There is you own many businesses. I think you mainly own your own businesses. You have to tell me which burger joined and I'll tell you. Oh, you mean the Whataburger? Yes, I did put your name in here. See? Chaos Whataburger. Maybe. How would one do this grammatically correct? Is this how one would actually type this? That looks so wrong, but I guess in English that is correct. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, it's yours already. I probably corrected it in a wrong way now. It's even worse than prior. But I'm trying. And this is what we're gonna be building today. I basically did nothing on this off stream because I wanted to keep building this on stream with you. I did a very few things. I added this cute signage, which may be debatable. I think is a 10 out of 10 name for a shooting range. Again, might be debatable. I think Point and Shooty is an absolute 10 out of 10 name for any shooting range whatsoever. So this is just Point and Shooty, where we're gonna do some Point and Shooty to be assumed. And last time we took a very long time to build this small, weird, finicky shooting range here. I went in and did a very few things, because the last time I forgot to add some right everywhere things that I wanted to add. And immediately here we can see that something is not optimal and we want to see this is annoying because they are child elements. We're going to have to move everything together and then we move the outer ones back down, but the middle one is not proper like this. But we went in and put some nice targets here. Again, I've never shot a gun in my life. I have no clue how any of this works. I'm trying my best. I think this kinda looks like a shooting range, at least from my uneducated gun perspective. I imagine to have something like this hanging as well, where you can blast on, and then afterwards you can look at your paper to see how well you were doing. I'm not entirely sure, but this is something we added. Would we probably at least partly move over here as well, because I guess we should put some actual targets on these as well. And add something, maybe even add a few lines. And we started building this the last time. I probably cleaned this one up off stream, because I do think these are kinda a bit annoying and tedious things to build, especially since we don't have copy and paste yet. So I wanted to spare this to you. We still have to do a lot of like groundwork and surface work. Otherwise, I think the cut of the gun range so far is alright, because the last little thing I did is a bit of terraforming. Because we had these two places. This gun range here has been a bit bigger, but I didn't really like the shape of it. So I went in and made this a lot smaller. This is gonna be a very rural, bad shooting range. I imagine this is where you go if you shoot a gun the very first time. This is where the amateurs get to shoot on a few bottles and barrels and something like this. This obviously is for the very big boys here with very far targets. And then this, I don't know how it's called in English, to be honest, so I might be mistaken. Maybe Chaos and Jay know. If I say Tontaubenschießen, do any of you know what that is in English? Because this side, I'm not sure if we build it into a second rifle range, which we could, or we could try to build it into something. Well, if I translate it directly, it would be something like ceramic plate target shooting. That probably makes no sense in English, but maybe somebody can help me with struggling for vocabulary. It's basically those ceramic targets that get shot into the air, where then as a shooter you have to react quick to shoot them out of the air. I imagine that's something we could do here. We have to figure all of that together. Maybe it's also just a normal shooting range with these raised stands. I would have to have a look at Google Maps at how clay target shooting works, because I quite literally only know that from movies or something alike. So I have no clue if we could turn this into a realistic clay shooting area. But otherwise, I think this is quite nice. It's still very basic, especially surface and decal wise. We need to fix this appetite. But the layout of this in general, and thanks to me doing a bit too much off stream, I think the surrounding and the general area come together really well. And I just love, I think I even posted that in my screenshot because I love this so much. I love how big Los Vagos is by now, because wholeheartedly, I think it's still really rural. I think it's still definitely screams small town and yeah, not very urban. But then if you look at this just landmass wise, we're actually getting a pretty chunky part of this by now. And I feel like we're probably slowly gonna sprawl out till pretty close to the end of the map here, and then give up on Los Vagos. This is probably and most likely gonna be like the actual stop of the city, and then here we're gonna get even more rural with a lot more distance between the lots and space it out a lot more to actually fade the city out properly. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how all of this is turning out. I did not imagine we'd get that far, but by now we're also, I guess, close to a year. I've seen a screenshot on Hall of Fames a while ago that said I uploaded it 10 months ago. And that must have been at least a month into Los Vagos already. So by now, Los Vagos is nearing its first birthday, which for that it actually is pretty goddamn small. But then you guys know how slow I build and how detailed I build, so I guess surprising to anybody but me that we're still not very big. And cause the ad break is running right now, and I don't want to bore you more than necessary, I'm gonna fix up my browser real quick so I don't dox myself on accident. And we're gonna have a look at clay target shooting together, just to get a very rough idea of it. I'm gonna wait till the ad break is over and then I'm gonna switch the source. I guess the ad break is not started yet. That's strange. Now it's starting. And welcome in, Red Unity. Nice to see you, your mate. Is going fabulous. I'll respond to you in peace after the ad break. Oh, I guess never mind. I see. Maybe you are actually prime subbed. Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait. Yeah, no worries. I'll wait. I prepared the browser. I'm gonna switch the source, and then we can look at clay shooting together. And I guess I should add range, because I don't care about the actual shooting. I just want to see how a range for this would be built, and if that would kind of make sense what we're wanting to do here. And welcome in Urban as well. Hope you and Unity are both having a fabulous evening. The more I look at this, I think I don't want to do this, because this requires nothing but an open field from what I can tell so far, which I guess it makes sense, because I believe you mainly do this kind of shooting with a shotgun. Again, correct me, I know nothing about shooting. I guess some of them have some proper something, but most of them are just standing in the middle of an open field, so using a proper gun range territory for this seems a bit wasteful. Well, then makes sense. You're being tired. I guess your winter holidays are starting soonish though. And if you don't mind asking, what are you studying? And well, KS, you're a parent. If you're a parent, then being tired all the time is basically your job, really. This is kind of the vibe I want, but then these, I mean, I guess they do shoot on clay, but yeah, again, it does not look like you need very much infrastructure. I think it's a bit too much space for clay shooting. Maybe the owner of the gun range can tell us, Jay, would you rather have clay shooting happening there? Or would you rather have normal rifles getting shot there at targets? Absolutely your choice. I do think the clay shooting probably is more boring than target shooting, so it would be my choice. I would decide against the clay target shooting, I guess. If it's yours, then I don't know. You tell me. I'm gonna switch back. Oh, and psychology, actually. That's very interesting and nice. How far are you in already? How much longer to go? Well, I mean, Urban, you're also a parent. Like, what I just said about parents having to be tired, it's part of their job. You are just proving my point, really. Which I guess most parents would immediately agree with me as well, so I think I'm onto something. Oh, first year, okay. Then some stress, I'm sure is gonna go right, but yeah, I guess is something you're gonna have to get used to at first. Here we're gonna have to bit of a look because we put some parking here already. I think actually most of it should get used by now. This gets used, this gets used. This we wanna move way further down here. Here we need to move stuff around a bit to be more appropriate. This guy should be parking this way. Obviously the rocks will remove in a moment. This side, I would actually like 3 people to park a bit chaotic, kind of dense to each other. And then here, I'd like to bridge this a bit with vegetation and not have this to be one continuous parking lot, so we leave a small gap in the middle here. And then here, maybe we can have 1 or 2 people park a bit illegal. Fair point, actually. I also believe, like, just from the territory, because it's a fairly big area, it's like probably the second biggest range you have. So I think it's just a bit wasteful to give it up for something like clay target shooting that I guess you can pretty much do anywhere you want to. So yeah, I also prefer normal target shooting. But in general, Jay, beside your martial arts studio, which again, I told you your martial arts studio, we can talk about once you uploaded all of your packs. But if you have any other wishes outside of that, gladly hit me with them. This, I still cannot believe this. I played this game for close to a year before I found out that you can show the markers of these. I always place these entirely blind and could see what I'm doing afterwards when using Move It. Which, holy shit, I think Stark User 1 was watching my stream and was like, what are you doing, man? Just click the show marker button. And if I would have known that before, then I could have saved myself a lot of annoyance and head issues, but I didn't. And welcome back, mate. That was a very quick BRB, I would say. Do we need to block something so that is this rural enough that we trust people not to drive on the shooting range, or do I need to cover this up with a fence or some barricades or something alike? I guess what we should do first, to give us a bit better idea of the spacing here, we're gonna go in and draw out passes and net lanes to fit the area a bit better and get a bit clearer picture of where we wanna leave space. One pass definitely should go off here and along here, so it can connect people there. And then I guess it should also go entirely around and connect to this side. And then this doesn't really need a pass. This one definitely does need a pass, but we'll give it a wide one here at the entrance. And then a smaller one for the side. Usually we'd build this a proper terrace or something around, but then with how rural it is, I don't think it deserves that. So I want to keep this very sparingly with little concrete or proper fixed up ground. Mainly this button here, case. I did not know about this button. It enables itself automatically in net lane, so this is not a great place to show it. Where I always personally really missed it is when you place invisible domes parking lots, right? Because if you place these, if you have snapping on, yes, they will go in the right direction and you're perfectly fine. If you have snapping off, this is how I used to place them in the past. I used to paint them entirely blind, right? But clearly that is not a solution. What fixes that is doing this. And you can also toggle that off, because for something, let me have a good example for this. If, for example, I do have a good example for this, and this is where I learned it. If you're working on airports, it's very relevant. And I guess you as an ATC need to know about airports. If you build something like this airport here, and you want to work with net lanes, it's very infuriating because you have these big blocks here from the actual airport functionality. I worked with this because I did not know that I can turn that off, and I was struggling very hard, zooming in super close to be able to see what I'm doing and such. the actual solution is what Starkey told me, and just press the click marker button and you can toggle these on and off. So indeed very helpful. I did not know any of that, so I went through a lot of pain instead. But yeah, really, really nice, helpful trick. Because I built my entire airport with having those horrible blocks open and not being able to see anything. And I was complaining about it on stream and was like, oh my god, that is so annoying and it's so painful. And Starkey was like, mate, you're being silly. Like, just click that button and you can build fine. Which he told me after I spent like 50 to 100 hours on building my airport. So I would have appreciated that knowledge a tad earlier, but I guess not Starkey's fault that I'm an idiot. As much as I would like to shame him for that, it is not his fault. And yes, the path with the cars, you're correct, because the Starkey blocks require a connection, right? Usually cars don't go in there, but to function, they need a vehicle connection. That's why you see the parts of the house going here, because this is a residential unit. Which obviously I don't want this to be a residential unit in real life, but I want stuff to be going on here, and I don't want this to be a commercial unit or a business. So I just sneaked a residential block in there. So that's why you see that word pass. In fact, that's why you would generally see word passes to most of my houses. I wish that there would be a way to control more accurately where you want vehicles to go and people to go and touch with the blocks, but then I do think probably it's one of the next big Starkey's projects, because Starkey spent a lot of time lately on the static blobbables that he entirely upgraded, and at least for me the switch between the old and the new packs with his asset mitigation utility mod, something like that, I think it was called, worked absolute 10 out of 10. I did not have to do anything. I figured it's a lot more annoying than it actually ended up being. So no complaints at all, but I would assume that one of the next things he probably is gonna tackle now should be the blocks. I am really hopeful that he can get the resource blocks to work again, because with the resource blocks there currently is an issue with some of them, and sadly it's the one that I care the most about. The specialized industry blocks don't rent out currently, so while all of these, oh, the new icons I didn't even look at yet, but if all of these here work fine unless it's a specialized industry resource. So convenience food will work perfectly fine. All of these will rent out. Grain, meanwhile, is a specialized industry resource. This will not rent out. This will also not rent out. This will also not rent out. This will work perfectly fine. You guys get my point. It's all of the ones that are an actual specialized industry resource that currently don't rent out, and I know that Starkey is aware of this and he's looking for a solution. I was losing my mind trying to understand why some of my businesses don't rent out or not, till I plopped down any kind of different version of Starkey blocks and investigated why some of them rent out and some of them don't, and then these were the ones that don't rent out. And it's very easy and obvious to see that these are exactly all the specialized industry resources. So I have very big hopes that Starkey can get those to work again, because I think they are very crucial for the game. As all of you know, I hate the specialized industry in this game with passion. I think there is few areas where it is problematic right now, so it is a bit complicated. Why do you mean I'm playing offline? But yes, I am playing offline because of that weird... I don't want to bore my stream with that, but there is a very weird bug where if you have a lot of subscribed mods in your folder, then you overwhelm the connection to the PDX servers. And if that happens, your mods don't all, how do you call it, initialize correctly. And I was losing my mind. I restarted the game like hundreds of times in the last few days, trying different play sets, trying with little mods, trying with many mods. Nothing worked. I've always gotten the same bug. I was about to like lose my shit because it just didn't make sense. Even people like Triton said, I don't get it. Your logs look perfectly fine. And then in the end, what worked, thanks to a tip Elgendo gave me, was, yeah, quite literally blocking the Cities 2 access from internet, and afterwards I had no issues. Which sadly means currently I don't have Hall of Fames. I hope I can unblock Cities 2 access from the internet and just play normal in future. But yeah, such a random solution. If Elgando would have not said something where he read that people blocking the connection to PDX solved issues to them prior, I would have never thought about trying that, because who in God's earth think that that could be fixing a problem? But yeah, it did. And I was happy it did, but to find out, I went through a lot of pain, and I'm a strong, manly man, so I wouldn't cry, but then I cried for like half an hour probably. Because, goddamn, it was that painful. I restarted over and over again, and every single time I just was stuck with the same silly issue. See, I also had the same happen, which is very curious. Because for me, that then resolved through rebooting. I was downloading one of the Gaga surfaces, and I kept complaining to Gaga that it's so slow. And Gaga was thinking I'm making fun and joking about his mod being bad, but no, I was serious. I downloaded one of his, I think, 350 megabytes packs, and I roughly took an hour, and I've gotten to 26%. And then I restarted my computer, and then it downloaded in 3 minutes. But I'm fairly sure it's not my connection. I think it's some weird routing to the PDX servers, because clearly I can stream fine and don't have internet issues generally. So not saying it's not my fault, could have been in some weird way, but I do think the PDX servers seem quite unreliable, or maybe the routing to the PDX servers is a bit unreliable. I don't know enough to properly point fingers, so I don't want to point too many fingers, but frustrating regardless, because yeah, I had the same where I just wanted to load the game and then I downloaded forever. Hey, I mean, trying to steal my money, Gaga, good luck. Unless you PayPal me money first, there is not much to steal. So enjoy. And Chaos here again. This is why I love them so much. Because in the past, the way how I did this, before I knew this existed, I spend it, I put this away, and I just place it somewhere without knowing which way it points. And then afterwards, I move it to turn it into the right direction, which obviously is a bit less straightforward than what we're doing here. So appreciate it. I learned a bit better. One mod I really can't wait for as well is a vehicle controller, because while it doesn't do the world, god damn it, it makes me so angry to see the smart in Los Vagos. The smart just does not belong in Los Vagos. I don't want to see that car on my street. Is the US, we need big diesel trucks, we need mobility scooters, we need ridden lawn mowers, we need all kind of weird funky vehicles, but the one vehicle we don't need is a goddamn smart car in our city. Yeah, I have so much invisible parking. Like, it depends a bit. I also like the marked ones in proper areas, but then in areas like this, I just think invisible parking is so stunning, especially now where we have enough around this that it actually sees some decent usage. Like all of these get used with 4 here, with 4 here, 3 here, 2 here. I think it's pretty decent. The rest we can do cosmetic. I just always care about getting some movement in here. And then now we have some movement. Now we have people driving in and moving around. Now we can perfectly go ahead and do some unfunctional things as well. I have no clue. I have, unlike most other people, not touched the editor outside of some short testing. Because I love the game. I think the game is so fun right now. I'm still amazed by how smooth the asset editor launch went. I would have expected that Los Vagos is either entirely dead or at least severely broken. Oh, look, guys, this one we lost the last time and I did not know where it went. I figured I moved it some random place on the map, but I guess we just moved it underground. Glad we found it back. Yeah, I also don't fully understand the question, to be honest. Gaga, you need to try again. Then maybe we can help you, maybe we can't. Yes, I've actually read what you said. I wanted to forward that to Elgendo as well. Because I don't plan on doing 3D stuff. I hate 3D stuff. I never enjoyed it in my life. I have Blender. I can't use Blender. I don't want to do it. But I've seen people talk in CSM, I think in the editor channel, about it helping the material to be overly shiny if you add a color variation. Because if you don't have an alpha color on all of the channels, then the game seems to automatically set a white alpha, so give you a lot of shininess. I'm not sure if that is what you're referring to, but they actually suggested to just add 1 or 2 color variations to combat that. You know more about 3D stuff than me, so probably just have a look at it yourself. It was in CSM in the editor channel, I believe, where I've seen it. And with this shooting range, I'm very unsure. Now, sadly, it's too early for all of my US viewers to be in chat, because this is a moment where I would need people from the US with some expertise for me. If you have a like amateur kind of range like this, do you even need anything like a table or something? Don't people just stand here? Maybe have a chair to sit down on. But this is where I want people to go shooting if they've never shot a gun before, if they want to shoot at a glass bottle here and have a look at it. For that you don't really need any proper spot like this, do you? Maybe a small kind of... I have an idea of what we could use. Maybe that's already too wide. But some small kind of pedestal. Not really... Not like this. Just like a small stair or something to stand on. Mainly to give a bit of a better idea of where we're standing. Maybe this already is too big. I think this is probably already too big. But I have a... quick look at it. Yeah, something to do with alphas. Again, just I can also, if you send me a DM or something, I can find it to you or find it for you. If you don't find it, you just have to wait till after stream then. But I'm sure I've seen it in CSM, and I think it was in the editor channel, but no guarantee on that. So if you don't find it, just message me and I will remember. What could we use for that? Maybe we can actually, hold on, can we not just use window boards? They are one-sided meshes, which kind of annoying, but for what we want to do here, that actually doesn't... Oh god, these don't place flat. That's fine, we can just turn these. I think this is gonna be perfect. Literally, I just want this to be some kinda line / starting point for people to shoot from. And I guess we have to rotate all of them anyway, so just place them anyway, it doesn't really matter. And then we just rotate one of them. This one looks like it's placed fairly alright, so we'll put this in a position that we want it to be on, and then we can do everything else from there. Wrong way, I guess. This is pretty much what we'd want. The rest of the movement we can correct in the moment. I think we just flatten the ground. So let's take this, take the rotation, and we'll apply it to all of these. I wish there was a way for Triton to let us select multiple of these. Of course, Dava, did it work? Did that actually fix your issue? And thanks for the bitties, and no worries. I'm glad if I could help. If you have not converted all of your stuff yet, or did you end up doing it with XN convert? Because amazing program. I did it with XN convert, and having to do that for all of my write everywhere files would have been incredibly infuriating and annoying and a lot of work. But thanks to that amazing program, it took me like 10 seconds and 3 clicks maybe. So glad to help, Dava. You got it working by now then as well. I'm always waiting for the first train. Well, there's been a few trains to drop. Let me rephrase. I'm waiting for the first North American train to drop for Dava. Because I'm sure Dava is already excited about some things in the editor, but let me tell you, once the first North American train drops, Dava is not gonna stop busting for the next 2 weeks in his life. And I'm both looking forward as well as I'm scared of that moment, because I'm not sure I can handle that much positivity. And thanks a lot, Urban, that's very cute of you, both of you. Especially with how little I streamed recently, I feel like I don't deserve any of that, but appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I will invest it into either a new graphics card or new storage in future, which I'm sure some of you have already heard. Samsung is planning to exit the consumer marking for SSDs, which means not only is RAM price like horrible terror right now, but in future that will mean that also the SSDs will be very expensive. Is that not great news for all of us? Maybe, maybe not. And welcome in, Wolfie. Nice to see you. Dava, Wolf, which is all of you actually. I want to know, everybody in chat right now, what is your favorite added custom whatever from the editor so far? Wholeheartedly curious, because I don't know if I could decide right now, and it's been fairly little so far, so it's gonna get a lot more. And I'm already struggling with the amount of amazing things we've added. Well, obviously they don't count as proper editor things yet. I mean, I'm sure I will adjust my things in future and put them onto the editor once we have a good solution to keep everything alive and in space, but I don't want to rush anything to get through that. Does a giant Princess Peach actually work? I've seen that, but somebody said that it's gonna that it might brick or something, so I'm not entirely sure. And of course, anybody can participate. You don't need to play the game. You can just look at the Cities mod store and tell me whatever of the new things you think looks the cutest. And also Urban, we can just peer pressure you into start playing Cities, and then we wouldn't even have to have this conversation, because why are you not playing Cities in the first place? You should be. It's a fun game, it's an amazing game. It's also sometimes a fairly broken game, but just ignore that. It's a very fun game, even though it's very broken sometimes. The seating props from Suli, yes, actually I would have kind of ignored them, because I mean something that is unseen for us, which I guess for you guys, this is not as crazy, because all of you are used to adding random stuff from Cities 1. I've never added random stuff. Like, I'm still so happy. I'm so happy about this. I'm so happy about this. I'm so happy about everything. I mean, guys, how exciting is this? Like, this cute Miata is so gorgeous. And with this Miata, I'm actually curious, because I think Jay said so, and I've also seen so. If you search for the Miata, and maybe that's something we have to do later, but it seems very finicky. This Miata actually has loads of cool, like, add-ons, right? So if we would want to, but my question is, can't we use those variations? Because I tried with Asset Variation Changer, and none of that did its job. But this actually does have some kind of body kit, right? We have this spoiler, we could make it a hard top instead. It has mud flaps, side skirts, all kind of things like that. But they don't seem to automatically apply in any of the random variations, because I've been checking all of the Miatas I'm seeing driving around in my street, and all of the one I've seen so far, they all have the vanilla variation without any of the add-ons, which might be normal, might not be. And actually I added 2 new custom props that we don't have yet. I'm sure most of you have already seen that. A name that I don't recognize from CS1, but I've heard so much from people fanboying about him, is King Leno. And King Leno uploaded his third pack, which I'm sure gets many people very excited. And then the one that gets me very excited, because the King Leno one we need an area to use for now. But there is one that we can use right away, and is a very excited one. We're gonna take this bus line, and will this work right away? Yes! Ooh, is this new? That you can select multiple. Is this new? That we can select multiple different ones? I was not able to do that in the past. We were always only able to select a single one. That's really cool. Yes, I also love that. I agree with you, Wolf. That guy is absolutely amazing. I was always wondering, I even asked so on my Discord, if that is that a known CS1 creator already? Because the assets of that guy indeed are beautiful. And he's pumping them out so quickly, it feels like he has to have prior CS1 experience already. If he does, I don't know, but it feels like he should. And now look at this. This is what Clyde did. And it even adjusts the writing, which my roots are not properly named, so for me it doesn't show anything proper yet. We have to name them correctly. But what a vibe. This bus fits so well into Los Vagos. I have seen this outside of Los Vagos because I tested this a little and it seems to work great. I've not seen this in Los Vagos yet, but what an absolute joy. We will definitely have to replace a lot of our lines with this absolute beauty. I love it. In general, the vehicle category was, to me, always one of the most disappointing categories in the game, I should say. Because we had so little proper good variation. I think the vehicles in CS2 are great. Most of them look amazing. No complaints at all. But we just had too few and too little. And just getting more variation on your street, so nice. And I just think the vibe of this is perfect for Los Vagos. This looks like it would thrive in some slightly totalitarian state like Los Vagos is. Yeah, I know, Wolf, that both of us are new in CS2, so same for me, but there is a lot of people that used to play CS1, usually in my chat as well, so was hoping that somebody there might be able to give us an answer, because I have no clue either. Yeah, as soon as I seen this, I was like, god damn, this is gonna look so good in Los Vagos. One thing I actually need to look into, maybe some of you guys who are better at the game than me can help me with this, because I have a lot of accidents, and I understand why now. Because for some reason, I assume maybe because this angle is in a way where they can't properly reach this part. But this has to be something I've done wrong, clearly. But these don't get cleaned up. Everything else in my city is always fine. But then I have these few red spots here. And they always stay red. And they cause a lot of accidents, especially this bigger passage here. And even this smaller one here. I have accident there all the time. Is there something I can do to make sure that my road, because we just seen, like here we have a road maintenance vehicle right here. They don't, even if they drive over this, it stays red. This never gets green, no matter how many maintenance vehicles drive over here. And I'm a bit lost on how to deal with that. So if anybody has a tip for me on how to deal with this, I would be glad. Because I like having accidents. This is a bit of a rough spot for it, because it's quite literally the only proper main road we have going into Los Vagos. It's not generally, like, it flows fine, but if we have an accident here, then we get exactly what we see here. We have a lot of rushdown for a while, which, again, I also don't mind. I think this is very cool to have sometimes. It's a bit too frequent due to this always being red. It happens very regularly, and yeah, definitely a bit too regular for my taste, and I don't really know how to deal with it. I'm gonna have to try around with that, because while great suggestion, Gaga, very helpful as usual, I guess there's a reason you're a moderator on this channel, is not exactly the solution I'm looking forward to, or was hoping for. Otherwise, obviously, great suggestion, Gaga, really exactly what I needed, thank you. I don't think I use Move It there, I think I just use Anarchy, and yes, I'm very well aware that the angle I connected those roads in is not what the game would like me to do, so I'm very well aware that that is probably something I caused. I guess I have to try to redraw it a bit less aggressive and see if that maybe fixes the issue. Because I have quite a few of those spots where it's very obvious. I looked at it, I can have road maintenance vehicles literally drive right over it and they don't change in color at all. So... yeah, no, I'm not gonna try to solve this now, because I think that's gonna be just me dismantling the road and redrawing it and then looking at it forever, which does not seem super exciting. Not that everything we do or anything we do here is exciting, but seems even less exciting than what we usually do. And I mainly want to get these small passes in here, because we are obviously missing a shitload of vegetation in this area. And vegetation does very heavy lifting, so I want to make sure to get these connections in so I can go over and add a little bit of a second layer of ground vegetation. Maybe that's a bit too perfect and norm, but doesn't look so bad. No, we can actually live with that. We can just dabble it up and make it a bit more chaotic and complex, which wholeheartedly I think will make it look cuter here. So we'll go in on both sides and pull these out and bring them together here as well. Yeah, they are. They do drive down that and turn around. This used to... You mean the tunnel, right? Because the tunnel does not lead anywhere right now. I used to use this as a sneaky cheat connection to the big city we had up here. Right now we don't use it at all, because we don't use that big city. I know where I want to use this for. This is definitely going to find some usage. It's going to find a bit of cheaty usage, to be honest. Eventually what I want to do with this is I want to take the tunnel and turn it below here, bring it below the entirety of Los Vagos, and bring it out somewhere here in this steep wall. Because I'm not sure if it's the next city we built, but there is two cities I still really want to build. One is this kinda started very ugly looking piece of junk here. And the other city I would really like to build is down here. And I want the main bringer to come up here and this to be proper connected. And I want this kinda cheaty connection out here. I know it makes no sense. I think it looks cute. I really like the tunnel here visually. And it helps me keep the traffic here very tight and a bit traffic jammy. But it alleviates very little pressure on that intersection. So really, I like this a lot. It's gonna help me massively with what I wanna do. Right now, though, you're correct. Right now, it's not in usage. But yes, they do still drive up here, drive there, and then turn around if they want to fix it. So I don't think it should be a problem. Maybe, I don't know. I've never even realized that. I think you are the only reason I did realize that, Jay. Because I complained about having so many accidents in that road. And I believe you asked me how the road condition is. And I said my road condition is very good. And yes, it generally is. So I didn't really lie. But clearly those parts are a little bugged. So you were correct pointing out that it might have something to do with the road usage. Because I think in my case that is exactly what's happening. The condition there is so bad that I get a lot more traffic accidents there than I would generally, and I'm not a fan of it. Welcome in, Polytruck. Nice to see you here, mate. And I probably... How would you like your name pronounced? Because I've always wondered that. and I probably just butchered that very heavily, so gladly correct me. So I can try to butcher it a bit less the next time. Welcome in. Hope you're having a nice Monday evening. I know usually you're watching Ken and watch some good old Canadianism. Today, you can watch some proper American freedom, because we're building a gun range. Because if there is one thing you need in an American city, you need people shooting guns everywhere. So I'm on the case building a big gun range here right now. So people can blast around. This is the one range that is kinda finished. I guess we need to do a lot of surface work and groundwork and everything. But before I do that, I want to have this open still, because then we can copy things easily. Because one of the things I think we should be able to do fairly easily now is export right everywhere layout and just re-import them here. So I think if we go ahead and place a few, the question is where, maybe one more somewhere back here. Few of those closing lines, I do believe we should be able to go in here and export these two layouts and then re-import them over here. So I hope that works. We'll find out in a moment. And these we don't have yet, so these we definitely will have to do manually, which not a big problem. Let's have a look at those real quick. I think we probably have to do like one or two different variations, so that we can also go ahead and move them over to other spots. We want the gun range, and in the gun range we want, I don't know, we're gonna have to have a look at it. One of these targets. Sir, where did you go? Okay, there he is. Oh god, I hate it if you can move all axes. I always mess stuff up. If it's on all axes, I find it really difficult to handle these. Tad too far back, so we move it forward slightly. Have you ever shot a gun, Polly? Have you ever been to a gun range? If yes, you are today's gun expert and you need to scold me and teach me all of this, because as with everything, I have no goddamn clue what I'm doing. This is what I imagine. I'm not sure if this is kinda realistic or not, but I would imagine that on these haystacks you have like targets attached to them, I guess, where people blast at. Again, no idea if that is correct, but from movies and looking at Google Maps, I think this seems fairly correct. The question is, maybe one of the other targets we have is a better fit for that. Oh, okay, so you probably can give me some advice on this. Are you also, I don't know where you're from, to be honest, Polly. I would guess maybe also Canadian, because you always watch Canadian, but then that doesn't mean you have to be Canadian. Oh, from Finland, alright. I see. And have a good night, Chaos. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always, and sweet dreams. And I guess then you still can teach me about shooting, but I do think probably Finnish gun range culture is a whole lot different than it would be in the US. So maybe you're not the best for this then. Yeah, and I imagine, because we looked at, I spent a bit of time with my chat looking at different gun ranges, and one of the things that was very obvious, because we looked at a few gun ranges, I believe in Norway as well. So I had a few look at those in Norway and in the US, and they look vastly different. Like, European gun ranges have a very different vibe than the ones in the US, so I don't think European gun ranges help me so much as reference, sadly. Is this realistic though? Like, if people will be shooting here, is that what we're looking for? To put some targets on these as well? I would guess so. Yeah, I mean, you were in the army before I was born, so that does seem like a few years ago at least. So yes, probably a thing or two might have changed since. And Urban, I'm curious, after you have just freshly built yourself a computer, how good is your mood every time you look at RAM and computer prices? Because me, having bought RAM not that long ago, I get happy every single time I see the prices. Now, remembering what I paid for it, I get very satisfied with myself every single time. Yes and no. I believe the links get auto-blocked, sadly, Polly. What you can do, if you don't mind, if you join my Discord, there is a link either in my About page, or if you type !Discord in chat, and you post a link in my Discord, then I gladly can repost it in chat for you. But maybe it's a problem of my settings. I've never found it out, because my auto mod supposedly doesn't block links, but then people usually still can't post links in my chat. So I don't exactly know how I could change that or fix that, but if that is fine for you, gladly join my Discord, post it there, and then I can post it in chat and look at it. Maybe actually I should make a round version. The reason I kept these... The heck? Where did this go? I'm so confused. Did I not just put one right here? Yes. Sir, where are you? What happened here? The heck is it? This camera is broken right now, I think. I am beyond confused. Did I just on accident move that one from here to there? No, there is one on here as well. What happened to this one? We're gonna move it up a bit just so we can hopefully see it. I don't even know where it is. I guess we delete that and just replace it, because I don't understand. It should be right here, 0, 0, 5. It should be right on top of our element. Clearly, it isn't though. Okay, we're just gonna delete this and replace it, and I guess we can even go in here and just export this. And we then also, Polly, gladly tell me when you posted it in the Discord, at least if you're planning on doing so, because I have alerts suppressed while I'm streaming, so I will not check unless you tell me to. Target here 3, I guess, because we can make a second one for the one with 5, and now we should be able to literally just go in here, go on import, go on this, and find the one we just made, which here it is, target K3. I don't know what happened there, that one disappeared, super strange, but I guess stuff happens. Even if you don't have the perfect picture, I'm always happy about any ideas for these kind of things, so I don't mind. Gladly share whatever you can find. I assume it has something to do with the gun range we're building right now, and is some inspiration for that. Yeah, I want some of these as well, and we're just gonna be a bit sneaky and put those, because I guess the hay ball is mainly used to catch the bullets and be something you can attach stuff to. So we're gonna be a bit weird and just make this here in the middle, where I guess is a bit strange to have it there, but I don't mind. Obviously, we need to move it more appropriate. But just so we don't have the same target everywhere, I think that's a tad too boring. So something like this, and then again we have to slightly angle those. Cause when I made these hay balls, okay, wrong way, then it should be something like 5. That's already too much. What the heck? 4. We had 3 already. 3 was correct right away. But yeah, when I made these hay balls, I rotated them a little, so it's a tad less boring. That is now making this a tad more annoying for us, but really not the end of the world. And here we're gonna be sneaky and just take... actually, we shouldn't. Yes, we should. This is a bit annoying, because if we want to import and export those together, we need those to be nested. In this case, it's actually not nice for us to nest these, because we have different rotations. We'll have to adjust a bit more, not the end of the world. But for this one, I'd like to have some different targets. Maybe, again, this one, because it's really fitting, but then one with the other ones. And now move it over here. Something like this. It's not amazing, but I do think it's not horrible either. And I guess we could just export this again and import it there as well, because this is tedious. I don't want to have to redo this for all of them. And one thing I can already tell, but I'm going to do that off stream, is that the targets or the white is a bit too vibrant. So I would go in and adjust that a little at least. So let's save this again, and let's save this similar to how we had it last one. We call this target hay 5 this time, because we have the 5 hay balls, and now we can be lazy and literally just go in here and import this. And to maybe have it a little less boring and varied, we can go in and give this that one. That already is a little different, and I don't hate it. Again, I think a lot of the heavy lifting here, because it's such a big open area, is going to be decals and surfaces. The reason I don't want to put decals here yet is that some of the decals I would want to work with in this area, for example, is... Let me have a real quick look. Something like this, which obviously looks like ass the way it is right now, but then if we lower and fade it really strong, something like this is exactly the vibe I would like this to be on. The issue is, now we have the decal everywhere here, and the lower stuff here we cannot really select anymore, which makes detailing for us a lot more annoying and infuriating in this area. For that reason, we're waiting with the surface work till the very end, which is a bit sad, because it's gonna do some very heavy lifting visually for this build. So it does look a bit weird and empty right now, but it will get a lot better when we fix that up in future. And good night, Orban, and welcome in, Scotty. I didn't even know you were here, but nice to see you, mate. Since when have you been hiding in here already? Now, I guess we should also, yeah, we're also gonna export these two real quick and bring those over already. These, we're gonna go on here. And the reason, now this, again, I explained this the last time, the reason we have these nested with each other is that if you export stuff, you can only export a single element. So if we'd have 3 elements here, we would
That's
have to
cute.
export 3 times and import 3 times. If we nest them, like we did here, is a single export and a single import, which obviously a lot nicer for us. So for that reason, always nest your stuff if you want to ex and import it. And welcome in, Jello. Nice to see you here. I mean, Jelly, you have to deal, you and Cuboid, you have to deal out your little cyberbullying duel by yourself. I do nothing but being cute. I don't want to get involved into that fight, obviously. But I don't mind if you want. I actually think I have a pretty good roster for that. Maybe we need something like a big battle of the mods, or Elgendo and Gaga and Cuboid and Seribot, which my bet is on Seribot. He's the best bot ever. But where you guys fight it out, you guys can all meet in a field and then have a battle for the legendary single best mod on Twitch. Which, if you have a disagreement, Jelly, let me tell you one thing: the solution to problem should always be violence, I guess. Also, don't ever listen to my advice. The 2 advices I can give you: don't ever listen to my advice, and the solution to everything is violence, I guess. I should stop talking. And yes, I forgot the mod, but then Gaga, you would. I know my cute girlfriend is also my moderator, but then she usually just watches me while tapped out in the background and has never moderated anything in this channel. So I'm gonna exclude her from the fight, not because I don't want her to get hurt.
I wish we had
but because I don't want you to get hurt. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing: if I put you, Gaga, in a fight against a Latina, that is not gonna end very well for you. Is the only thing I can
I
tell
wish
you
we
about
had
this.
a cactus.
Are these also shiny from the back? No, that's so weird. We literally just had to turn the element and it was fine. Yeah, see, Gaga has understood how it works. My girlfriend is a bit
Please
more
an
than just a
electricity
Twitch
box.
moderator. She moderates me entirely, so it's not really comparable. Why is this? I don't understand. I guess because the other clotheslines have been placed the other way around, but that's so silly that all we have to do is this, and then the rendering suddenly looks fine even from the back. Very weird, but I guess fine. Do we need targets closer here? If somebody... Alright, then welcome in and welcome out, Jelly. Enjoy the lurk. And thanks for being in, and I'm gonna place a electricity box right now, because yes, we can need some in this area. But, Polly, since you are the only gun knower in this, if you would be in a rifle range where you shoot actual heavy rifles and snipers, should there be a target closer than what we have? They shouldn't. No, I actually missed that. Hold on, I'm sorry. Hold on. Quick feedback: they would make sure to remove any sort of brush. I guess you mean bush. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, to be honest, I was thinking about that. I actually was a bit... I guess so. I don't have a good feeling for meters here. I guess this is a lot less than what you put in numbers, but also the scale of the game is a bit different. Oh, actually, I didn't even know that. See? By that you can perfectly tell that I'm German and I have little clue about any of this. I generally would disagree, but then this for me is actually just grass, right? And bushes, I guess, yes, something like this shouldn't be here. But then, you know what my counterpoint is to what you said, Scody, is this. This gun range is owned by Habermeister J. Do you think he's gonna take proper care of this? Obviously not. I built this man a beautiful and stunning shooting range. And then he's gonna let it rot and foul, and if people hit something and it throws sparks, I don't think Jay is too concerned with that. Maybe he is. We would have to interview the man on it himself. But I don't think safety in Las Vegas in general plays a very big role. And I would argue in a J property, safety probably plays an even smaller role than in the rest of Las Vegas. And I guess is an ad break, so I'm gonna shut up real quick and wait till the ad break is over and I can jump back into it. Though the ad breaks always confuse me every single time, because then Siri bot and when the actual ad break are coming are always a bit off. Yes, and it's also in Las Vegas. Obviously, I'm gonna do my duty as a major. I'm gonna come over here and make sure this is safe and have a look at it, and then I will never visit again. So after you pass the original safety procedure, you can kind of do whatever you want. I shouldn't say that, because Jay, don't do whatever you want, you'll get in trouble, but you might be able to. Otherwise, obviously, Scody is absolutely right that especially the boulders, I guess, in the background would not be a thing. Like, I'm very well aware that having rocks in places like this, right behind the targets, shouldn't be happening. And I guess even those bigger bushes, I will agree with you, Scody, these should go away. The grass, I think nobody would care and remove it. This seems to be all the safety I can provide, really. And here, I don't even think there is too many bushes, because all of this really is just some wild grass. It just looks very strong because we don't have any surfaces in there yet, but once we put some surfaces, I think it's gonna look appropriate. Now with this one, again, I don't think we want actual targets. What we want, and we can actually find that here in this tab, I believe. I'm not sure. Maybe it's in the commercial tab. No, it's here. We want some actual sitting people here. This is the hobbyist fun shooting range where people who are not absolute experts with guns were shooting as well. So here you have people being very relaxed, sitting in their chairs, a few random people shooting. A bit early, I didn't really want to dive in on placing people yet, but I guess up here that totally is something we can do. Really? Holy shit. Yeah, actually that's very interesting, because you know what? A lot of why I've said this many times on stream, I guess for most people this is boring, but a lot of why we're building Las Vegas is that I used to, as a kid and teenager, spend a lot of time in Arizona in the US. And wholeheartedly, in Arizona, as soon as you leave any urban area, you cannot find a street signs without bullet holes, right? You probably have news of some family sitting at their dinner table and suddenly having a bullet in their ceiling while having dinner. like once a week, because people go out and they shoot at traffic signs and they ignore that there is houses in the back of them or something. So yes, you do make a very good point, but also what I've seen, or the practices I've seen in regards of gun safety in the US were not the yellow from the egg, I guess is how a German person would say. And I don't think people in Las Vegas are generally very educated, because as a major, I don't have money to provide good education. I don't know, I'm building my third palace right now. That is pretty expensive. I need to keep my funds together for that. So education is not very well funded in Las Vegas. I don't expect people to have very good gun safety etiquette in this city. If it would be real life, I would very much agree with you, because obviously your point is 100% correct. But especially in Arizona, as a European person, where, I mean, you just don't see guns here, right? And then in the US, in Arizona countryside, it was absurd. Every single traffic sign, every single one, not road signs like this, but proper like stop signs, for example, or any bigger traffic signs, they were completely plastered with bullet holes, and no matter where, in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, crazy to me at least. Because I guess that is something very cultural, but then I guess most Europeans would probably, I guess, would also be able to have fun shooting a gun, but I would be like, I would have a lot of respect if you give me a gun. I would be kinda scared of that gun, most likely. But then I guess if you start shooting in a very young age, then that behaves a whole lot different. Yes, you can disappear. I'm gonna make you come back anyways. Yes, it is, of course. You just have to place a light source inside. Also, this might be good knowledge for anybody who's not a super nerd at the game, which most people in my chat are, so probably wrong hint to give. If you have stuff disappearing, any sub-objects, anything in your build, this is the icon you click. You open any tool, doesn't really matter which one, you see this symbol that always reminds me of the Soviet Union. You go on top of that. It matters a bit if it's a sub-object or if it's a main element or if it's both of them. Here in this case is a main element. We don't need to put the sub-elements, but just for it. And then you brush over it and then it turns red. Now you know it has an anarchy component, so it cannot disappear anymore. But yes, of course, Gaga. In fact, we could do that right here. Like, you just have to just take any light source really and put it inside of there. Like, even if we're gonna take the random one, so this is gonna be horrible, and obviously this is a ground light, so it's even sillier, but this will work. Why shouldn't you be able to put lights in there? And obviously you would have a better look at what kind of light makes sense in there and then put it, but totally. Also looks great, good idea. Because this entire idea I shamelessly stole of Gaga, because Gaga posted a screenshot in my Discord, which was a very cute one, where he had a nice spot hidden in the middle of a forest in the city where people were doing some illegal herb farming. I'm not sure what kind of herb farming. I'm not sure what they're doing, but since this is gonna be the gang headquarters of Elgendo's Miyata gang eventually, I decided to shamelessly steal Gaga's idea and build Elgendo some kind of hidden farming location back there where I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know. There should be a reason it's that well hidden, I would assume. Also, looking at this fence is not to our standards here. I want to fix that up really quick. Why is it so close to the road? That already is better. Yeah, I mean, I guess RGB lighthouses. That's actually very, very fascinating. I posted a few images of that in my Discord a while ago. I'm actually a bit tempted to show that because it is very interesting. There is many regions, both in the US as well as mainly in regions of Canada, where since growing wheat has gone illegal, you have a lot of those big greenhouses popping up. And they add an absurd amount of light pollution, like to a degree where I could not believe it anymore. And it looks crazy. You quite literally, I posted images where in the middle of the night and you look outside, the sky is pink, right? It's wholeheartedly, entirely pink, colored from the growing lights. So RGB greenhouses are an actual thing. I did not know that either, but I guess the more you learn. I originally found it very pretty when I seen it on Reddit, and then I digged into it a bit, and it seems like people are very concerned and anti-light pollution, which I guess makes sense if you live there and it's pink 24/7, then eventually that gets to you and is obviously not right for like the local ecosystem and animals if suddenly it's day 24/7. I don't understand why this is happening. Now see, this one we turn, but this one now has a face in the wrong side. I can tell right away, I believe at least. Maybe I'm also lying, but this looks like we need to flip. Yeah, see? Why does this happen? Now we flip it, it is a lot less vibrant. I don't understand, because this one we did not have to flip. This has the right faces and the right side. This one didn't. Why they were different to each other, don't ask me, I don't know. I guess so, we did indeed flip it good, but why we did to have to flip it good, I don't know, I have no clue. Yes, I mean, for me I'm a city kid, right? I live in a big city. For me, one of these things I enjoy the single most about getting into the countryside and getting actually away from light is the night, right? In the region where I live from, we have so much light pollution just because it's a big city that, yeah, you can barely see stars, and if so, you see the big ones, right? The very vibrant ones, but then if you're in the middle of nowhere and you look up into the sky, goddamn is that stunning and beautiful compared to what I usually see when I look into the sky. So yeah, light pollution for sure is definitely a thing, and I guess especially due to those lighthouses, in some areas it gets a lot more. Like if you're actually interested in seeing that, again, in my Discord, if you scroll up a bit, well, I guess a bit longer, but shouldn't be too long, in my Google Earth image channel, I think you should find those images there. It's like very pinky, vibrant pictures of greenhouses. And yeah, those areas are completely light polluted thanks to those greenhouses. Yeah, that's what people are asking in those greenhouse areas, for example. People are also asking for laws, so they have to add reflectors, right? So the light of the greenhouses cannot just pass out into the open and go everywhere. And in Canada, for example, they even passed a law for that. I was reading up on it. But for the big greenhouses, the fines for those are so low that it's more profitable for them to not add reflectors and keep their business open and just pay the fines because they're relatively low, which not how it should be, but I guess how it is. I think the craziest light pollution I've ever in my life seen was kind of close to Los Vagos, or the way I imagine it. Yeah, Gaga can also post links. Perfect. Yeah, if you click the link of Gaga and you're in my Discord, then I assume it should send you right to the greenhouses. No, there is no... There is a theoretical prop limit in CS2, and that theoretical prop limit is when your computer starts shitting the bed, right? But there is no hard limit. I can place as many quadrillion things as I want, and eventually probably my computer explodes and I have 20 FPS. But that is a limit. There is no limit where the game tells you, nope, no more please. And I can tell you, because this is a detailed city, right? Like, especially if we move into areas like this, like we have plopped a lot of things. All of these rocks is all performance-wise is not really noticeable. It's noticeable in a very few areas. This one, for example, actually is bad because if you zoom in the small boulders, they have a very high tris count in their model. So if I zoom in here, close, now it loads the accurate model of the rocks. I just lost, not that much actually, I lost 7 FPS zooming in here. So yes, you can go overboard, absolutely. But I've been building this city for a year and I've been plopping a shitload. Like, it's, again, I can zoom in everywhere. It's a very dense and detailed city. My performance is a little worse than when I started this, and I placed like 10,000 decals and 50,000 rocks and boulders, and does not seem to matter much. And my computer is shit. I have a like €1,000 self-built, so I think I'm a fairly good example for this. Mind you, I only play full HD, which obviously, if you play on a low resolution, it makes the game a lot less demanding. I cannot judge how this looks if you play on 4K or 2K, but for me, never have been an issue to flop down as much things as I want to. CS1 did have a hard limit, did it? Because that seems horrible. Then I would, every time I click down something, I would be like, oh my god, now I'm one closer to the limit. Is this really worth it to click down? That seems like a stressful experience while playing the game. I don't know. I played CS1 for 30 hours. I never modded in that game. I uninstalled it and didn't enjoy it. And I started playing CS1 like a bit over a year ago, or CS2 a bit over a year ago, and I love CS2. I loved watching CS1, so I sometimes watch people build CS1, but I did not like playing the game myself. Whenever people ask me why, I think my answer is mainly that the road tool was so bad in CS1. But otherwise, I don't know. Maybe it was also wrong time. Maybe if I would have been 5 years older and 5 years more boring, I also would have enjoyed it back then already. Yeah, I just hated roads, right? And for me, it sounds so silly, but as a city builder, right? Like 30% or 50% of what you're doing is building roads. Building roads is always involved in any process in the game. And if that is not fun, then that seems like a racing game where driving is not very great, right? That just does not really work for me. I don't know. Like, sure, if a racing game is like very pretty graphic and it has amazing, I don't know, vehicle models and handling, and it's so cool how amazing you can customize all of the liveries, but then the driving is really bad, then yeah, that's a difficult sell for me at least. And that's how I felt about CS1 and Roads, because I wanted to like the game. I did want to like CS1, but I could never bring myself to like CS1 for building roads. It was just too annoying, too fiddly, too painful to build the easiest small intersection. And as soon as I seen CS2 and how roads work in this game, well, I was sold, and I've been having a blast in this game. I know there is a lot of issues in this game as well. It's not like anything here is flawless, but I don't know, it works for me. It's really fun. But it's curious that you agree, because quite a lot of people, when I say that, disagree, and I also always have to add that disclaimer. I did play CS1 vanilla, and I don't think I would enjoy CS2 without mods, right? So I never gave CS1 a fair chance compared to CS2, so I guess it's also a bit unfair the way I judge it, but it is what it is. Get home well, Elgando. I assume when you say goodbye at roughly this time, it means you're done with work, so enjoy walking home the 3 blocks and have a nice evening, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Did you play CS1 a lot, Scotty? And if so, were you modding in CS1? Because again, I believe probably if you added a lot of mods that made building roads a bit nicer, then maybe it would have been not as bad as I recall it to have been. But yeah, in vanilla, I just hated roads. And I think also when I played CS1, I did play CS1 very early in its lifetime, like within the first few months. And I guess the game also was a lot worse back then than it was towards the end of its lifetime, where there's been years of DLCs and mods and content drop for that game, and that was definitely not the case when I played it. Yeah, okay, interesting. You do have CS2, don't you? Because to be honest, I think once you played CS2, going back to CS1 would be really difficult. Maybe it could have been easier once we did not have the asset editor and they already did have theirs. But now both games have an asset editor. I don't see how anybody will have a better time in CS1 than in CS2. Yes, our asset editor is still a lot more limited than theirs. They do still have a lot of advantages in networks, vehicles, and all of that. But by now, that seems like it's just a question of time. Especially with people like Peanut already teasing things about future updates of the editor. I do have a quite good feeling about the future development. Maybe I'm being too optimistic and all of my dreams will be smashed, but currently I feel like the future of cities is a good one. Where, what happened? I actually would like that a lot. I would love if we'd be able to do something like that. I'm gonna have to try around with it. I know that like over half a year ago or something, I tried around with making decals of bullet holes. Because I think, exactly with what I said earlier, all of the street signs in Arizona being plastered by bullets. That, oh, actually, I didn't even see. Oh, here, you mean? Yeah, you do make a point. This one actually confuses me a bit because this been here for a while and it should get picked up. Maybe I need to correct the routing of this house. Maybe they cannot reach it. I'm gonna have to investigate that off stream. But yeah, you're right. Somebody did fire a bit in the wrong direction and hit somebody up there. But what I was about to say, sadly, when I tried around with the bullet holes, and actually I'm gonna be lazy here and use this, I figured that decals that are that small don't really work in this game. Because stuff that is small stops rendering very quickly. So when I made those decals for bullet holes, they were basically only visible if you zoom in way too close. And in all of the angles where you'd want to see them, they are not visible. So sadly, not really a thing. Maybe I need to try around with that again, because I think it could be a bit better if I make a fairly big decal and then space the bullet holes away from each other a bit, so the decal actually is a lot bigger than it would have to be. But I think that might have a positive effect for how early the LODs get loaded and how early stuff gets hidden. But from my testing back then, it was pretty pointless, sadly. Otherwise, I would love to make bullet hole decals. That would be an amazing fit for here. And is there anybody, do we have another good idea, if we look at these targets, what is something very different, I would like to have a target here that's very professional. I don't even know how I would word it, but a bit more expertise. Not yet. No, there is a lot of things in that direction I want to build. My problem always is a bit Scotty, that I'm a very slow builder and I have a lot of ideas, so I generally have more ideas than I can build in this city. And even if I have an idea, it might take a few months till I get to it. So yes, Area 51 will come, Burning Man will come, I want the paintball range, I want a treehouse colony, I want hillside mansions, but all of that will take a while and sadly not gonna be there anytime soon. I guess Jay is not here anymore. Maybe Jay would have a good idea for this otherwise. I want a different kind of target. Something nice to shoot on in a bit of competitive shooting. I don't even know. Yeah, Woodstock also great idea, to be honest. But I don't even know if it's called the same in English. In German, Biathlon, which I guess is not called that. The sport where you ski and shoot. Change to change. I find it very boring. My dad always loved it. So no offense if you would like it. I don't know what's wrong with you, because goddamn is that boring to watch. But I want some targets like they do. Because I want this to be like an professional level target shooting. I guess we would have to build some... actually, maybe if we build something a bit similar to this, but without the tables and everything, and just put boxes in here. I'm gonna try something. We're gonna build something by hand here. We're gonna steal some of the parts from here. We're gonna steal a log. This might be really shit, and maybe we have to delete all of this and try something different, but I want to give it a go at least. We're gonna take that, and we're gonna take this. How many of these would we need? Let me think really quick. Something like... in this side, maybe like this. And then we need the back the same amount. And then the question is, would we even cover this on the top for something like competitive shooting? I guess so. And obviously this would not, in real life, this wouldn't be just wood, because then you would just shoot through it, but we're gonna just ignore that. Yeah, no, for me again, because I know so little about shooting, Scotty, I have very little. I've never been on a gun range for my life. I've never shot a gun in my life. I've shot a, like, air gun in my life, because my girlfriend once bought a nice, like, she bought as shooting for pacifist, pretty much, where you shoot with some kit guns, and I did enjoy that. I understand why people can enjoy shooting a gun, but I've never really done it. So biathlon is one of the things where I have a picture in mind of people shooting. It's why I mention it as a kind of reference, mainly. See, if I would have more clue about Olympics, then maybe I could know where that is. But I don't really care about the Winter Olympics. The only part of the Winter Olympics I care about is snowboard slopestyle. And maybe, but that's not a thing at the Olympics. If they ever add knuckle hug to the Olympics, then I would also like that. But yes, slopestyle is the only thing I care about. And that is still fairly new. I think they added slopestyle the first year in Sochi, if I believe, the first, or the Russian Olympic Games a few years ago. All of these would have to be at the same level as well. So let's line all of these. The heck? Why is he not lining up? Did we choose the wrong one here? I'm so confused. Okay, I guess we did choose the wrong one somehow. Why are these not all at the same level? I don't... What is happening here? Are they turned the wrong way or something weird? Because the ones in the back are the same level. I just adjusted these. These should also be in this. I don't understand the wool. Because I think if we do that, they should... Yeah, no, actually, that was a very confusing experience. I don't know why that did not work like it should have, according to my small brain. Ah, curious. And I have to admit, with anything US-wise, I know for you it's probably very normal to say SLC. For me as a European person, which probably is because my English is not that great, but I have no clue what SLC is. Oh, Salt Lake City, okay, and never mind, that does make sense. I actually, even though I've only been there once, Salt Lake City is a big name for me, because yeah, being into snowboard culture, Salt Lake City obviously is a pretty big deal in winter sports, and that includes the snowboarders. Okay, this is what we want, so now we go copy the rotation. Oops, I lied. Copy it instead of pasting. Now we have this, now we move it on top, and obviously the length will not be sufficient, but it's fine. We don't care how this thing looks from the back, so we can just let all of these poke out in the back as long as the front aligns. It's all we really care for. I'm gonna correct these right now, because it's gonna be a lot more difficult for us to properly touch and move stuff around once we have all of these on top of each other. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Sadly, I've not been snowboarding in a few years because I have a bit of feet problem that makes snowboarding for me so painful that it's difficult to still really enjoy it, but I don't know. I love snowboarding. I get very sentimental if I see snow, and I still to this day like watching snowboard movies and stuff like that. Actually, I don't even hate the look of this with the overlap a bit in the top. Obviously, the level of this is not correctly yet. Fairly easy to see in this angle. Now it is, and this is a bit imperfect, but we can just overlap these slightly. I think this actually turned out better than I imagined it to turn out. I think we can use this pretty much the way it is. We want to go ahead, deselect this is... Yeah, now it's gonna get a bit tricky. I think this is the right one. Yes, and now we move it in there perfectly. And now I would just hang different targets in there. And then I think that actually is a pretty cute target. We didn't even need the log. Yes, we could use the log to give it some more structure, but then really it doesn't matter. It's just gonna get shot on anyways. So one thing we should do real quick is flatten the ground a little. When is the Winter Olympics this year? I'm actually, because I don't really pay attention to it. Generally, my dad really likes Winter Olympics, so when the snowboard contests are getting closer, then usually I get a phone call from my dad telling me that if I want to watch snowboard, I should watch it sometime soon. Because, yeah, snowboard slopestyle, even though the X Games are more fun than the Olympics, but even in the Olympics, generally, the parcours have been pretty nice. Yes, actually need to center it a bit more, something like this. Welcome in, Obelix. I actually had a very funny interaction with Triton yesterday, Gaga. Because you know, Gaga, because we were messaging, you know that I was asking Triton things yesterday, because I was trying to learn and understand about how to transfer your packs. And I had PDX load issues for a moment, and Triton was like, well, why is your internet bad? And I was like, well, I know my internet is bad because I'm watching the CS2 major. And guess who was also watching the CS2 major, rooting for the Frenchies in CS2? It was Triton. So, as soon as I told him I'm watching CS2, he was like, well, same here, I'm also watching the major, and it was very funny, actually. Because I don't think there is many Counter-Strike people in the Cities community, but then Triton does seem to be one of them. Thanks, mate, we're slowly making some progress. I think we're actually close to the moment where the ranges are all far enough that we can actually finally go in with surfaces and decals and everything. But we build a lot of different ones. I try to keep this very different. I have no clue about shooting, so probably if you know about shooting, all of this looks wrong. But this is where I imagine the competitive shooter nerds to be. We still have to put some proper cabinets up here in a moment. But here is where I expect the professionals to shoot, like proper competitive try-hard shooting. And then this is the absolute beginner pleb. I'm going out on the Sunday having a beer while I shoot a bit of pistol range. Then this is, I guess, the competitive kind of practice range. This is like a good proper rifle range where you use a bigger rifle or a sniper and blast back there, and then we have our very small pistol range back here, which is the last one, and I love it because they're all different, like cabinets. They all have different things where you shoot from, and I think it actually turned out surprisingly good. Especially at the start of this, I was a bit overwhelmed because I wasn't sure how we managed to turn this interesting without me just doubling up the same stuff everywhere. But I think we actually managed to make that somewhat unique enough. You guys are better to judge than me, most likely, so I shouldn't be the one judging that. Maybe I didn't, but I'm kinda satisfied with myself at least. I mean, Brody, you know what? We have the editor now, so theoretically, maybe cactus soon. Because yes, I would kill for a cactus, like literally probably the single asset that would get me the most excited about the asset editor. So yes, please. Okay, now again, I have no clue about shooting. In a competitive context, in some shooting cabinet like this, the target wouldn't be right at the top, right? The target would be like a little lower in the middle like here and then be connected with something. Or would I just hang it at the top like I had it a moment ago? This looks more correct than being at the top, to be honest. Also, the floor is not great yet, but we can... I did not see Rizara's cactus yet. I have heard about it. I don't really check CSM much. I know it's a great Discord with many nice people in it, but it's so full and so many different channels that I go there if I need something, but I don't generally interact in CSM, to be honest. Yes, obviously you're right, and I agree with you that there should be some kind of padding to absorb it. I think that falls in the category of I'm too lazy to build it for realism. So I don't think I build a padding. Maybe I should. How would I build a padding even? What kind of material would be a padding of a gun range made of to catch something? Okay, I don't want to deeply offend you. I'm gonna build some padding for you, but you also have to help me and tell me what kind of material the padding would be made out of. Because without you, I am lost, is the honest truth. And here I want to just try something real quick. This might be really silly. This might be working okay. We will find out together. One. Move this to this side. Move this up. And now we adjust the color of that to be a bit more appropriate. And then I guess that works as a hanger. Kinda. Wholeheartedly, kinda. I think I can live with that. So we go in here, we copy this, we go back to the parent element, and we paste it as a child. And now we take one of those two and move it over here. And now we can take this and duplicate it everywhere. Now we only... No. Scotty, there is no... I'm German. In Germany, humor is illegal. If you laugh, if you make a joke, straight to jail. So kidding on this channel, absolutely forbidden. It's like it's a crime, to be honest. So as I'm not participating in any of this humor nonsense, I'm not taking it as a joke. I'm gonna build you a proper passion behind this. Now you say hey, because hey actually is a that should be an easy solution for us. Maybe we can even fit one of these. It's too big, and I guess this actually would be more realistic. Now, can we just stack those up right behind? I think we can just be dirty. See, if people don't hit the target, at that point, is it not being safe? Is that really my fault anymore? I would argue it's the bad shooter's fault, right? So we're just gonna put hay here right behind the target. So if people aim on target, we provide some safety. If they miss, that's not on me. In fact, if they miss, they should be embarrassed about their bad shooting skills, but that does not seem to be our problem. And I'm already annoyed with myself, because how the heck will I be able to touch anything here? Please, game, don't do me like this. Okay, we're gonna redo this, and we're gonna place all of these outside and then move it in there, because otherwise it's gonna be incredibly annoying and finicky. That way we can also turn them a bit more, make this a bit more fun and realistic. Yeah, I know EDT, but it's 4 elements. I would have to move every single one of them, and I would have to do that on every single one of them. So the actual better solution than using transform tool to this for this is actually just stacking all of them outside here really quick, and then we can move them in. And honestly, Scotty, appreciate it. I need people that the viewer of mine who I miss the very most is the very first viewer who I watched on Twitch called Michael. And Michael did not allow me to slack, because the truth is, if you're building a build, sometimes you get lazy, sometimes you want to get over with it and just rush it. Whenever I started cutting corners, Michael immediately called me out in chat, told me that that's not okay, that I'm a failure and that I need to step my game up and stop slacking. I appreciate it, it's entirely what I need to hear. Because yes, will this look cuter with a padding than it would have looked without? Absolutely. Would I have not built this padding behind it if you would have not told me I have to? Also absolutely, so very appreciated. And to be honest, I am being a bit too quick, because I should place these all in there so we can line them up perfectly in the middle. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back on this. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna save this as an XML. We called all of them target, so we're gonna join with that, and I guess we just call this target cabinet. Oops. And now we should be able to quite literally, also real quick, we have not saved today and we're playing for like 3 hours, so I need to stop being so cocky about my game being very stable. But now we saved, now we're fine, and now we go in here and we import from this and we go to target cabinet, and it should be perfect right away, and it is goddamn lovely. Now rinse and repeat for every single cabinet, import target cabinet, there we go, 2 more, and then we can move the hay behind, and then we are entirely done with our targets and our shooting parts, and we can finally get into more fun parts of the detailing. Though I don't think I can stream so much longer anymore. I don't have to get up super early tomorrow, but not that long. Yes, you're not wrong, Scotty, but then I don't give a shit. Like, for me, I'm not cutting corners. Yes, I am, but I don't wanna cut corners, I should say. City building isn't a race. I don't care if I'm slow. I don't care if I take forever to finish this build. I also don't care if there is diminishing returns. Even if I invest 4 hours to make it just 5% better, I think that's well invested 4 hours, right? Because I think that's Los Vagos in the essence. Like, Again, it's still a fairly small city. We're about to hit roughly a year of playtime in Los Vagos. So, yeah, diminishing returns, while you're absolutely wrong, and people should not play the way I'm doing, and people should move along when stuff starts to look good. That is not the way I'm playing. I will keep trying to make it as cute as I can till I am tired of it, right? Like, I think for me that's the part. But I am surprisingly patient in cities. So generally, we can do it fairly long. And it looks way cuter. Like, Scotty, thank you a lot for asking that, because not only does that add a bit of realism, it also adds a lot more contrast and variation to it. So, great for calling me out for that. Honestly, I consider this done. There is one more thing we have to fix. And it's fix the floor real quick. Here it looks high enough, if I'm not mistaken. Not high enough, what the fuck? That is perfect. And we move this perfectly up. We might even want to move this further back. I don't think so. I think that looks like a fairly good range. The question is if we also build proper cabinets up on these things, and maybe they're a bit too high. I guess these should both be a tad lower. Yeah, we're gonna remove the lowest pillar. I think this is a lot nicer level-wise to the targets. Now we only have to figure out how we want the people to shoot here, and I think we're gonna build something fairly basic, a bit like this, but a bit more basic, I think. I actually like that. I think that's a great idea, Scotty, and I also was thinking about that. You mean somewhere up here, right? Because if so, I agree, that's a cool idea. I would just do a single one though. I would put like a single cabinet element. Maybe one here. Maybe one here, and maybe one back there. Okay, I love it. I think that's a great idea. Very appreciated, nice input today. The sad thing is we have no copy and paste, so this is gonna be at least a little annoying to build, but we can at least copy the coordinate. So we need 4 of these per cabinet. So we're gonna put 3 groups of 4 around. And now we go in and copy this rotation. I guess this one is not that relevant because it probably is correct. It's a little different, so I should still do it. Yeah, but actually it's so little different, I don't really need to do that. We can eyeball that. These are the 2 relevant ones. So we take this and copy it on 1 element in each group. Now we take the one at the top and do the same thing, copy and paste it in 1 element per group. And then we just need to assemble, and then we can import the targets and put the aim. What do you mean? Well, enjoy the important meeting with your bad Gaga, and as always, thanks for tuning in, and have a wonderful good night. Your timing is a bit sad, because after we finish this, you know what time it is. It's Gaga surface time. So right before we're going to use all of your pretty Gaga surfaces, you're leaving us. It makes me sad. But obviously, as always, thanks for tuning in, and have sweet dreams, cutie. I can at least show you how cute your surfaces look the next time. But I'm still not sure what you mean. Because the problem is, I know I could align to his, but I can't because these are different rotations. And the his gets taken from the anchor of the element, and our anchor is not the same. So while I can align these and the other standing one, so here I can absolutely go in and do this and align them to the level, I cannot do it otherwise. And I know that there is a movie copy and paste version out, but at least to my knowledge, that's still in the beta branch and still a bit lacking. So I personally have not dived into that. Maybe that's a mistake and maybe I should switch to the beta branch. If I should, gladly teach me or tell me, and then I will do that. I generally wait till the beta stuff gets pushed onto the public. Yeah, I mean, then I agree, of course. That was what I was hoping to do. Because yes, these three we can obviously align to each other. But it's not that bad, wholeheartedly. I've gotten a lot better with using the transform tool. I used to be very slow with it and used to always prefer move it in the past. Nowadays I generally prefer transform tool because I think the gained accuracy from it makes the extra effort very much worth it. And the angles are a bit unclean on these, but wholeheartedly I don't mind. While this looks kinda professional, it isn't really. It's Los Vagos, nothing here is professional. So I don't really mind that they look a bit shabby. Okay, EDT time, move it is not accurate enough. There we go, and I guess I should move them where I want to move them before putting the hay in there first. Yeah, it's gonna make all of these things so much less painful that wholeheartedly I can't wait for it. But I'm not sure if you've seen it in my Discord, Obelix. Yen has been making a mod that I asked for a while ago. And is a very small mod, but an incredible exciting mod. I'm really looking forward for Yen to upload that and finish it. And the thing it does is really basic and simple. It adds contour lines outside of tools. So no matter what tool you use, if you use Move It or anything, you have a toggle here to toggle on and off contour lines, which for normal gameplay, maybe not as relevant. I mainly want it for the editor. In the editor, that is an incredible, valuable feature while working out things. So wholeheartedly can't wait. Yeah, if you look in he posted a video of it. If you would look in my Discord in the general channel, then you can see a video of Yen showcasing that mod, and goddamn, that gets me excited. Yeah, same. That's exactly why I asked him, or not only him, I asked multiple people, but most people were not too fond of having to do that. It seemed like, to me at least. And I think Yen was hoping somebody else does it, because he has enough to do already. But yeah, nobody else wanted to do it, so Yen did it, and it looks amazing. Like, wholeheartedly, absolutely amazing. It's funny, because there is 2 mods in this week that I at least played a role in, because I asked for them, and both of them are gonna be map maker streams. The other one is pretty much an editor exclusive mod that Starq made and already uploaded earlier. And it is a mod for the editor to remove the ugly gizmo arrows from the trees when you place them in the editor, which made trees in the editor an absolute pain and annoyance, and now there is a mod to toggle it on and off. So really nice changes. Are we happy with the placement of these Scodi? Do we think this one, maybe this one should go up here instead to the left? I mean, they are kinda levels like this, especially this one, I guess, for the really show-offy people. Maybe we need to, I guess we should raise the terrain here very slightly, so people don't just shoot into the electricity line. Yeah, super nice, right? It's a super basic mod, I was gonna say, very simple, but very helpful for many situations. Oh, and I have not had a break yet. I kinda missed it, but since there is an ad break starting now, I'm gonna send you guys on a real quick road trip while I hit the toilet and grab something to drink. I'm back in 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, something like that. Enjoy the road trip and be right back to this. I'm back. Whoops, I forgot to switch to be right back scene. That's on me, my bad, but I think I was fairly quick, so I hope it wasn't too long. And which markers do you mean, Obelix? Because I assume you mean the one you can't hide, but there is some markers you can hide while placing net lanes. I'm sure you know this though, but if you were talking about the dot, right? Because what you can do is you can hide the lines, and in some areas the big gray boxes just come with it and such if you click show and hide marker. But yes, obviously these lines and the dot are not removable. There is one mod that you're probably excited about. I don't know how the status of it is looking, but there is a mod that Honu has been looking into to disable this blue outline on everything, which I would also be very excited for. That seems like a great mod to have. And maybe it's something we could ask Honu for in the future if she makes some progress in the mod with turning on the blue outline. Maybe actually she could also have a look at these other markers, because yeah, I agree, they are definitely annoying for fine-tuning things, which I guess not really any solution for it. And I believe, sadly, most of these things are pretty annoying to touch. One of the mods that I did not use in a long time that I should have used way earlier is this one, which also very simple but very cool mod. I don't even know how it's called. I believe better looking top buttons or something like that. It quite literally just makes them gray and white instead of that obnoxious blue that they usually have. And I think it makes a big difference, so very much appreciated. And I'm not sure, actually, why is this so much too low? I want this to be as high as the other ones. I'm gonna go in here and move all of these up a little, because then the hay should fit a lot better. Before it was so cramped. Now maybe, yeah, no, like this it actually fits very nicely. Move that all the way back in there, go in here and import the same one we've been importing so far. Cabinet, perfect. It's not optimally centered, but then is Jay's gun range obviously is not optimal. That seems to be the right level. Then quick up the hay or stack up the hay real quick at the target, and then one last, and then we're finally done with all of the targets. Then we need a last fixing up of the area we're shooting from on this side, and then we are pretty much done with the gun range outside of actual micro detailing, the fun part. But the annoying part we're then done with. Do the same, import, target, cabinet, there we go. And a single last one. Meanwhile, I said it does not have to be perfect. That's a bit too unperfect for my taste. So we want to move that one slightly over to close that gap. And again, what we just did with the other ones, let's check. Okay, this level actually looks pretty good right away. So go in there and stack the hay. And Obelix, if you're still here, I'm very curious because I believe you said you have issues getting back into Calabash. How come I've not heard of a single person that had issues with getting into their saves after the acid editor? I was very surprised when I seen you write that. Because I was very surprised the other way around, how smooth the entire editor launch went and how well the saves of everybody were working afterwards. So I think you're the only person that I'm aware of with any problems. This one has a bad angle. All of the other ones are good. This one we want to slightly turn forward. Take all of these and something like that should be more appropriate. That looks absolutely beautiful. I love it. Great idea by Scotty. Way more interesting with those level targets in the back instead of only those. Okay, time to save. We actually made some good progress. Now, I guess, again, the last real, like, structural bigger thing I want to do before it's surfaces and decals and micro detailing is some kind of nicer place here for them to shoot on. I guess it doesn't need much. Maybe a few tables, maybe a bit of a cover of sun, but I think we can whip this out fairly quick. We're gonna keep working with the same material just because they are so fitting for us here. And what I imagine here, I don't think we even need the side ones. I imagine just the top level, which would probably be 3 or 4. 3 looks too little. I guess it's 4 that we move into each other. And then maybe we want it doubled, so 8 per side. Maybe that's too much. We'll find that out in a moment. Again, I don't really ever know what we're building before we're doing it, so this is a bit of a trial and error. We're diving in here and gonna find out together, first things first. And I wish there was a thing to do this batch-wise, because we want to copy the rotation. Now I wish I could just select all of these and paste the rotation, but I don't think we have a way to do that. So what we'll do instead is click every single one and paste the rotation. This is one of my big questions where I actually, has anybody played with the beta version of Move It? Because one of my big questions about copy and pasting is, does it keep rotation fine? Could I just rotate a single element and then copy it and paste it 15 times and have the correct rotation? And another very big question, which wouldn't be the end of the world if the answer is no, but is, does it keep right everywhere instances? Can I go ahead and put a right everywhere instant on something and then copy and paste it and have the right everywhere instance on the other element as well? I doubt it. If that would be a thing, that would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, we definitely have to move these into each other a little, but who cares for now? I like that these all have fixed values, so the moving of these actually is pretty straightforward. Okay, last one for this roof, and then before we do the second one, we'll figure out first what exactly our plan is here. Because again, I don't know. I guess we want this as a kind of sun cover, so move it a bit in both sides. And with that, we want something like 15 degrees maybe. Now we have to find a right rotation, and it's this one, and we go ahead and move. Oops, why did we not switch? Go ahead and move this 15 to this side everywhere, and then move it. Oh, that's annoying, but fine, whatever. We can adjust that in a moment. Move all of these up. And now we move one of them in the correct value, and then we can just copy the Y value and move it over. Oh, actually, we need to entirely move it correctly because they don't align otherwise anymore. Not a big problem. We'll align this first one and then we can move all the other ones of this one. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. So now we go in, take this, and we have to paste it on all of these again. And then do the same movement we just did. I could have seen that coming and thought ahead, but I didn't. I did think about that the rotation will also adjust our positioning otherwise. The good news though is if we build this once cleanly, then it should be a lot easier and quicker to copy and paste this over to the other one. Because now what I imagine is something like this. The question is what kind of, I'm gonna exclude the plants, else it's gonna be a bit annoying here. What kind of pillars we're gonna use. We could actually maybe just keep going with what we've been doing everywhere here so far and keep logs. Obviously this is a lot too low, something like this. The reason why I quite like logs is that we could make the logs independent of the platform. We could put the logs out here in the outside and have this be kind of a shabby after installed roof on it. I'm gonna give this a try. We're gonna go ahead and steal this log. With the log, always move it up a little because sometimes it's a bit finicky to touch it when it's on the ground. So we'll go ahead and do something like this. Place it already 8 times because if it looks good, we need it more anyways. And we'll go back here. Steal a rotation. And yeah, this is something I wholeheartedly, I need a copy and paste function, or I need a way to apply the rotation to multiple things at once. Because I do this so much, it would be really nice having a little easier way for it. I'm gonna turn these so only one of them is close and we can move them easier afterwards. And just level correctly, I guess, something like this. Now we move all of the other ones and then we can judge if we are fine with it or if we don't like it. It looks a bit janky, but I guess that fits Los Vagos. I quite like it. What I don't like is that we have a small gap there. Obviously, that's something we would need correct, but otherwise, I think this looks great. If you disagree, now is the time to speak, else this is gonna be our solution. I think this is gonna be our solution. Oh, why did I do that? That was not what I wanted to do. Copy the position instead of the Y value, go back into this. Copy, go here. This time we actually paste the Y value, and last time I think I like it. The question is, do they always need some kind of table to lie their gun and rest their arm on? I guess with rifles they do. So we're gonna go ahead and find some good commercial table. I think are the most fitting. These, yeah. And since this is a bit more competitive, I don't think we need a divider in between. We'll just give them a bit space in between instead. So give them 3 different tables per side. That looks pretty appropriate if we put people here now. Oh, and another floating dog, because I guess that's just a thing we need to have for some reason in this game. But yes, I think I'm happy with this. And I guess my viewers all went to bed, which is fair because they're late in Europe, but I have nobody to say no to this, so I can do whatever I want and nobody can stop me. So we are gonna go ahead and rebuild this entire thing real quick. And I say real quick is always a bit annoying, but yes, this side should be a lot quicker now, because we have the other one. And we don't want to copy the entire position, but I actually want to go in here. And now we need to understand, because I do want to have the Y. Yes, and that is pretty much all. Now we just go in and copy this, move this back up to 1, and now we can adjust all from there. There we go. And same thing for the other side. Here we're also gonna go in, copy that, take the Y value and bring in the Y value, and then obviously we have to adjust these properly in a moment. But we can do that with all of them combined. That should be even easier. Something like this, I think, makes me very happy. And as a last thing, where we're gonna also go copy the rotation and I guess the Y value are these. And then we should be able to just assemble it and be done with this as well. Honestly, this has been a very finicky and slow build because of the amount of small custom assets we built in the game, and since they are kinda close to each other but a bit different, we had to kinda do those finicky one by one. And here I just seen these are actually not very well aligned. That looks better. Oh, hold on. The one thing I did also want to copy is go here and go put the Y value in all of these. Because now we just have to align them and then move the entire thing where it belongs. Why do these show through on this one, but didn't on the other one? Oh yeah, actually they do not as much. Interesting. But yeah, here that we don't like, so we're gonna lower it very slightly, so it's not poking in there anymore. These seem perfectly fine. And thanks a lot for the follow, that's very cute of you. I did see your streams before, so not only will I say thank you for your follow, but I will also tell everybody in my chat, which right now I think most of my viewers went to sleep already, to check you out. So not worth very much, but I'll repeat this when I have actual viewers the next time. And welcome in, mate. Nice to see you here. I only managed to catch a single stream of you, I believe, but Moose was also there, and from the little I could see in chat going on between you and Moose, I believe you're a long-time CS1 player already in the past. Is that right or wrong? Or you must have streamed in the early times of CS2 when I was not playing yet. But honor and pleasure anyways. And welcome to the most boring and weird stream in the Cities community. Yeah, see, I am very different. I played Series 1 for 30 hours and hated it, and have not touched the Cities game in, I don't know, 8, 7 something years. I started playing Cities pretty much a year ago. I love this game. I think it's fabulous. I enjoy CS2 more than CS1. unlike what most people say. But yeah, to give you a real quick overview of what we're building, I always go back into this corner because it's really the instance of our city. We are building some kind of rednecky, weird desert paradise. Don't worry, we're not a bad kind of rednecks. We're woke rednecks. We're open to everybody. We welcome everybody. People can do and not do whatever they want. But yes, this is kind of the essence of where we started and where we put down the vibes for our build. Very weird, very rednecky, very, again, chaotic. People have skate parks in their gardens and live in train wagons and something like that. And then we made a bit progress. Rednecks do know how to live life even if they live in containers. I guess that doesn't mean it has to be shabby. In fact, some of them can be very nice. What is going on here? Hold on. Where are these from? Why are these here? I did not place these here. I'm gonna investigate on that off stream. But yes, I guess in Los Vagos we have a big danger. We have a biker gang over here, which very scary, very dangerous. And we have another gang that is even scarier than our biker gang, and they are back here in our weird... Well, this side is our quarry. I'm gonna turn on photo mode again. This is our quarry, which obviously fairly detailed, I guess, like everything in our build. This is our mine. And then we have this sad little dying old gold rush town here, which this part of it still kinda alive. The further you get up, the shittier it gets. But this is another of our gangs, which is a dangerous gang, is a scooter gang. Don't mess with the scooter gang. They are called the Booty Riders, and clearly they are dangerous people, not to be messed with. I personally would be very careful if I get up here. And I think this is the build I can only always show because it's probably the best build I ever made and ever will make. Is our old abandoned mine. But I guess this is a quick overview. Most people know my city fairly well because I'm a very slow builder, so they have to look at everything for like hours over and hours. So it's a bit boring. I mean, I think our motorbike club also has a nice name because our entire city is over here, Los Vagos, hard to not notice. And then since I think biking is a very manly and totally not annoying hobby to partake in, I call them Los Vagenos because they like to ride very hard, and I made some nice tags for them, like this one, for example. Because honestly, I think the main reason why people want to become bikers is this. And if they say anything else, they're probably lying. So, I don't know. And this, obviously, another cute decal I made for our motorbike club, because I think it's not a bad rule to go by. I would not want to ride motorcycle. It seems so dangerous. You will end up dying anyways. And curious, so you are just getting started in CS2 at this point, I guess? Because yes, then it is how I kinda understood the conversation between you and Moose. You indeed seem to be a legend of the CS1 community already, which, pardon my ignorance, it's not that I'm ignorant, I just didn't really play CS1. So I don't know much about the community from back then. But are you happy with CS2 nowadays, or are you still one of the people missing CS1 and being disappointed by many of the CS2 developments? I luckily did not start playing CS2 at release, because, I mean, even till nowadays, I if I say I love this game and I have a lot of fun, don't misunderstand me. This does not mean that CS2 is a good game. This is an incredibly buggy shit game with loads of weird things happening, loads of unfixed parts in the game, loads of weird, unfinished and complicated parts. So, it's a horrible piece of shit game. Do I love it and have more fun than in any other game ever? Yes. So me calling it the shit game is a bit unfair because it's both an absolute piece of shit game as well as the single most fun game I've ever played. But I have an amazing time in here. Oh yeah, I mean, of course, personal reasons always come first, of course. And I'm gonna wait real quick, because at least it shows that there is an ad break. So maybe you can't hear me, maybe you can, I'm never sure. Sometimes people actually see ads, sometimes they don't. I don't understand, but I'm gonna wait unless you tell me you can hear me. Oh, you can. Okay, then I keep going, because also I said this already earlier before you were in. Whenever I talk about CS1, there is one thing I have to point out, and that would be unfair if I don't. I did not play CS1 modded, and I would not like CS2 unmodded either, right? So I would not talk as well about CS2 if I would also have played only without mods like I did in CS1. So yes, that is a bit of a harsh take, I guess. I don't actually think CS1 is a bad game. I just personally did not enjoy building roads very much in that game. And that kinda was enough to ruin it for me, I guess. Yeah, I think part of why I enjoy CS2 so much, and I've said this many times in my streams, is my ignorance. Because yes, I would probably feel exactly like you if I would have had all of these amazing things in CS1, and then they give me a new game and suddenly I'm missing a lot of the parts that I liked so much. Yes, I would very much be salty about that, but as somebody who played CS1 for 30 hours unmodded, I don't have that, right? I'm not missing anything from CS1. I never had these things. For me, it's the first time I have an asset editor, right? For me, it's the first time I get to experience any of this. Oops. Why did we place? That's not the surface I wanted to replace. Hold on. Revert. But I do think that fades my perspective of the game a lot more positive, because for me, something like the editor is purely exciting, right? I get the editor and I'm like, oh my gosh, so cool, I never had an editor. Look at me, I can import a single car that I find cute and a single bus that I find cute. You would probably look at the asset editor and you're like, oh my god, this is all we've gotten so far? We had so many amazing things in CS1. So yeah, it's a bit harsh. Yeah, I guess I made that exact fault in CS1, because I played CS1 shortly after its launch, and then I didn't warm up with it, so I uninstalled. And then returned like a year ago when for some reason, YouTube decided that I need to check out Canadian Moose and infrastructure risk and Sully, and then kept showing me Cities 2 videos long after launch of the game in my timeline or in my YouTube homepage. And I really enjoyed watching those videos, and then from that point decided to buy it, which I think also has been very good for me not tilting so much with the game, because I knew what I'm buying, right? Like if you watch people play the game, Sully and all of the others, they have been vocal about the issues of this game. Like, there's a lot of criticism in their videos. And I knew all of that. I've seen some of the marketing they did for CS2, and goddamn, the marketing... I don't want to call them liars, but I would at least say their marketing has been misleading, if I phrase it careful, I guess. And I very much agree that everybody has a right to be very disappointed after seeing the marketing material and then the actual game. Because even though I say I love this game, if anybody bought this game to play a deep simulation title, then yes, sorry, but wrong game. Our simulation is not great. If you want to play an amazing city painter, then you found the right game and should play it. And there is some simulation in the background that slowly has been getting a little less bad, but will this ever be a challenging deep simulation title? I don't think so. Maybe go play some Anno or I don't know, The Settlers or anything but cities, really. I also miss props. I think while many people seem to be the most excited about buildings, I am the most excited for everything but buildings. I miss a lot of small props. I miss a lot of vehicle variations, which I'm sure as CS1 player you're like, oh my god, we had all of that, but I want ridden lawnmowers, I want golf carts, I want mobility scooters, I want quads, right? It's all of that. I can't wait for it, and I'm sure you had all of that in CS1, because while I did not enjoy playing CS1 much, I do quite enjoy watching CS1. If I'm not the one suffering while building roads, then I think it's fun to watch. If I'm the one who has to build a road, then I'm out. That's too tilting, I cannot handle it. But yeah, the amount of assets you had, stunning, and with that coming now, amazing. And then obviously the most obvious one is vegetation, because how my city can work without a cactus is beyond me. And the day I get a cactus in this game, I will be very excited. Yes, vegetation. Vegetation, props, vehicles. Those three, really good. With buildings, I always have to... It's been a bit... me and Moose disagree on this, which is curious, because I think Moose and me agree with many things about the game. Moose says we've gotten a lot of European things. As somebody who lives in the EU, I think a European city in this game is unbuildable. I don't think we have the assets for it. I think we're missing a lot of depth for it. I don't think a realistic, nice EU city is yet worth it. For NA cities, I think we have amazing assets since, I don't know, the last 8 months or something. You can build stunning, amazing US cities with great buildings. I shouldn't say I'm wishlessly happy, but I'm very happy in that regard. But yeah, again, outside of buildings, like props, vehicles, vegetation, yes, please, more of everything. And welcome in, Cons. Nice to see you here, cutie. Yeah, I know. I mean, for you Americans, it's difficult. All of my EU viewers went to bed like an hour ago, so it's been slowing down, and then there is a little downtime since then people come around. But then once you come around, I generally tell you I have to hit the bed very soon, because I will have to hit the bed very soon. But Cons, look at this. We actually did a lot of things since the last time. Not only did we do massive progress on our shooting range, and we have this nice, more competitive side here, where experts are shooting. We have this absolute pleb range here for people who've never shot a gun in their life before and just want to shoot at a bottle or something. And we have the normal, classic rifle range back here. And we have this small piece of range over here. So it's starting to come together slowly. And then the bigger part is, look at all of this, because we might have had a little bit of an accident and built a lot of future development around the gun range as well to frame it a lot better. So I went ahead and built some boring... All of this is not properly detailed yet. We're missing props and seams and everything everywhere, but like the rough layout of this is so nice, and I don't know, I think this turned out great. Like nothing special, just fairly boring normal rural housing to give a bit of a buffer, I guess. And then over here we'll, again, not properly detailed yet, we'll get to that, but we have this small farmland and we have a proper backyard farm here, which I detailed a little already, is still lacking, but we'll get to it. And then mainly the exciting part is we get another big industry factory, and you guys know I have a absolute hard-on for building industry. I don't know why. In real life I find industry ugly and boring. In this game I find it stunning and beautiful. And look at this. We have one of our first custom assets in use, is this stunningly beautiful water burger that you loved so much as well, and I actually found a way to get it in. I absolutely adore it. And then we have a little taste of what's to come here soon. We have a first spot that is taken over by the Miyata gang of El Gando. So soon it's proper time to dive in and get a third gang into the city. Our Miyata gang. The Miyata gang, they will have their headquarters over here, obviously El Gando, with his own made gas station, gets his headquarters in his own built gas station. And then we build them some kind of headquarters here. And they even, well, I shouldn't say typical Latino part, but what can I say? El Gando is from Argentina, and I guess in Argentina things do sketchy things. El Gando has this weird tunnel here in the back where I don't know where it leads to. It leads to some weirdly hidden obstructed area. I don't know why somebody would hide something like this well. But yes, I fear maybe the Miyata gang is invested in some of the herb growing. I mean, we actually kind of have that. Obviously, we don't have great campers, but I made some shitty campers myself, which really is just different buildings morphed into each other. But we have this cute campground here with our own weird, bad impressions of a camper. I hope we can actually get this to be a bit nicer now. We get proper models, but this is what we try to do. And then after we build that, look, we have exactly what we're waiting for. We have Walter White right here in the middle of the desert. I don't know what is going on here, but something is going on in that RV. I'm not asking questions. They paid me money to not ask questions, so I'm gonna abide that. Maybe. And yes, obviously, as soon as we get a proper RV in this game, we're gonna recreate this and build this into a proper good scene, not the way it is right now. Would you mind, JFC? I would love to see, if you don't mind. I understand if so, because people are in many Discords. But if you don't mind, gladly join my Discords. It's either !Discord in chat or it's linked in my about page. Show me some of your CS2 builds. I've seen one of your streams so far, so I have a bit of an idea. But even more excited, I would like to see some of your CS1 builds. Because while, again, I did not like playing that game, I think it's beautiful to look at pretty CS1 builds, and with the amount of hours you have in CS1, I'm sure you will be the right man to ask for that case. So gladly post screenshots if you feel like it. I'd be interested. Because I use pretty much all region packs, but I'm from Germany, right? I guess probably easy to tell with my horrible accent. I don't think a German big city is doable. Maybe some weird romantic southern German village or small town. Yes, but Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, Frankfurt, any major city in Germany, undoable with the assets we have right now. It's just the packs for European places we have right now are very much styled to each other. They're very homogeneous, and it's exactly they are very monogamous. It's the exact opposite of what we want in German cities. German cities get bombed. They have some leftover true old history. They have a lot of ugly, cheap built architecture straight after the war. They have very modern, expensive developments nowadays, right? Like I would say it's undoable. In all fairness though, I think it's also that due to me being from the EU, I'm just uneducated about the US. So ignorance is a superpower. It sounds very silly, but me being ignorant about all of this is very helpful, right? Because I don't look at the US and I'm like, oh no, this building looks a bit wrong in architecture style. It's 30 years too long. Because this is not even a real place. We have left-hand drive. We are maybe in Arizona, maybe in Mexico, maybe in Colombia, maybe a bit in GTA. There is no... I don't use Google Maps, right? I just build anything silly I get into my head. And with that also means I can do whatever I want. Which helps me a lot in this game, to be honest. But I also do think, I've said this a lot recently, and I do think it's fairly true. I also play the wrong game. All of you guys are playing Cities, and I'm playing Tropico. I just clicked the wrong icon in Steam, I guess. Because, yeah, I'm way more playing Tropico than I'm playing Cities. I'm playing Tropico in Cities. That is very correct, but... otherwise, I definitely play more Tropico than Cities. I mean, yes, I guess so, but I also think the US in general, yes, you have regional differences, right? And I don't want to make them smaller than they are, but due to the US having such younger history, you generally have a lot less different architectural styles, and I do think that makes American cities easier to touch because it's more generic. It's easier to find a fitting building than it would be in Hamburg or Berlin or something. Yeah, pretty much, I guess. I mean, yes, my main inspiration for this obviously has been Arizona. I spent a lot of time in my life in Arizona. I like to make a lot of fun of the US, and I think reasonably so. But I also have a very soft spot for many parts of the US, and specifically Arizona. I have so many great childhood and teen memories from the US that this is where I draw my main inspiration from, right? Together with Arizona, or together with GTA and a lot of pop culture, movies. I don't know, but I guess that. But it's not like I'm limited to anything. If I see something cool in a TV series and I think it belongs in Los Vagos, I will build it in Los Vagos. But I like that, right? Like, I don't have or I'm not trying to build something super realistic. I just want to build a fun, cute city. I would like my city to be a fun map in GTA. I think that's my main goal. If I achieve that, then I'm perfectly happy with my build. Because I do think GTA is the best inspiration for cities by far, due to it being so shrunken in scale and so dense and fun, while real life is just boring sprawl for kilometers. So I think real life is a very bad inspiration for cities, while something like GTA is a really great one. Or a movie set, or anything that is compressed and made denser and shrunk in scale. I have to admit, I hate those trucking games. I don't want to play them. I watch them. Because you're right, I very much enjoy watching them, because there is a lot of Cities 2 streamers who like those trucking sim games. I would rather jump off a cliff than have to play it myself. That seems incredibly boring and I don't want to do it. But watching it, great inspiration. So 100% agree, especially for road work, because while I have, like, I guess a lot of, like, far away childhood memories of traveling through the US, I did not care about road work and infrastructure and any of that in the past, so I didn't really pay attention to it. But now, as a Cities player, I do pay a lot of attention to it, and Truck Sim are amazing games. Just looking at the intersections, looking at road markings, at signage, all of that for me is amazing, because I look at European cities and then they kind of work, but I have a lot less clue about US stuff. For example, rail. Like, I always really struggle with railway in the US, because European rail infrastructure and US rail infrastructure are pretty fundamentally different. And especially for something like that, it's great to get some inspiration to educate myself. Yeah, I mean, I guess it can be a fun game, but then I would rather play an actual racing game over a truck sim game. I used to say the same to Moose when he was driving truck sim. Like, at that point, just get a trucking job and you do the same, but you actually get money for it. But I'm playing video games to escape real life. I don't want to do somebody's job in a game. That quite literally seems exactly what I don't want to do in a video game. Unless it's maybe something like Football Manager, or some job that is not easily obtainable. But otherwise, yeah, please. Like, I'm trying to wind down from work. Don't give me more work while I'm trying to get away from it. But I'm like that. There is a certain kind of games where I always preferred watching them over playing them myself. I don't know, even in my young adult and teen years, I played like a lot of games where I knew that friends of mine want to play them and I was interested in the game but didn't really care about playing them. I just sit next to them and watch them play. And sometimes also join in, but wholeheartedly. In some games I don't care if I play it. I want to see the story and how the game is. And then that's perfectly good enough for me. But yes, there is many good games as inspiration. One of the games that has absolute magnificent cities inspiration as well is Mafia. Mafia is a amazingly beautiful in general. And then, yes, due to exactly what you and I said, due to the shrunken scale in Mafia, similar to GTA, I think it works really well for these kind of things. Actually curious thinking about it, because I don't play that many different games. I feel like I have a few games I really like, and I feel like I already don't have enough time to play those, so I don't often venture out to try different titles. But what other games would you guys consider to be really good for Cities inspiration? I guess maybe Cyberpunk. I never played Cyberpunk, even though I guess by now it's a good game that would deserve to get played. But what else is there? I guess really, not only GTA, the recent ones, but any GTA and any Mafia are really good. But else, I never really played full-on city games that are compressed like that. I guess maybe for Asian cities, how was that called again? Yakuza? I cannot even think about the game. Really fun fighting kinda kung fu game with beautiful, stunning cities. Actually good inspiration. I don't know why a gun range needs barrels delivered here. I don't know what kind of business Jay is doing. And I find it quite questionable. But again, Jay paid me off quite well, so I will not question. Even though while billing this, I find it questionable. Heck yeah, I will check that out after stream. My computer is so shit that I try to not do many different things while I'm streaming, because my game is really stable. I crash like once every few months, but I don't want to do anything that could change that, so I'm gonna check it out after stream. And thanks, mate. Yeah, gladly. Like again, I love looking at cute builds for this. I also totally, be warned, if I see any great idea in your build, I will steal it. No question asked. I will be right in there and will immediately go steal it and put it into my own game.
My God! Okay, it's happening.
I'm sorry
Everybody
for
stay
that.
calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
And I welcome in Clovis and gang. Nice to see you, cuties. How was your stream, and what was the stream today? Did you play Cities or was it trucking again? I sadly had very little time this weekend. I tried to tune in for a little while your trucking stream, but then I was very busy in that day, so it was a short stay. Oh god, that sounds horrible. How come? What is happening? Because wholeheartedly, I've been saying today, and I feel like generally that's what people have been telling me as well. I feel like it's been a really smooth experience with the editor. I barely seen anybody complaining about either stability issues nor like issues getting into their saves or anything, so surprising to hear. But yeah, that is sad. Sorry to hear, and welcome in, cuties. My game has been incredibly stable, so I hope Clovis will be soon as well. Because, yeah, really, for me, the editor has been flawless. I was out of town when it came out. And when I came back from my holidays, it worked. I quite literally just had to open the game and everything was fine. So surprised to hear that. If you want, Clovis, gladly post your recent logs in my Discord and I can have a look at it. I'm not the best at troubleshooting, but if it's something obvious, then I might be able to tell you. Yeah, I have a few a few guesses what it could be. So actually, Clovis, if you have any logs from your recent crash, Skype logs, of course, that is, else I cannot help you. But if you have proper Skype logs, please put them in my Discord so I can have a look at it after stream and maybe help you to actually play the game instead of just crashing over and over. And usually I would say I'm glad you had a fun stream, but I guess that is not the right words for today, because it doesn't sound very enjoyable. In other news, for everybody who wanted to see some nice Cities gameplay in Clovis stream and got robbed for it, I think the editor is amazing. I think it's still lacking things, but the transition for me has been incredibly smooth. And now look at stuff like that. We have a cute water burger over here, absolutely stunning. We have this, Clovis. This is probably my favorite thing that's gotten added into the game so far. We have Miatas, and immediately I decided we need another gang in our city. So not only do we have a biker gang and a scooter gang now, we will also soon have a Miata gang in our city, which their headquarters will get down here. It is so cute. The Miata gang will be one of the big... see, the Miata gang, they are already up to weird stuff. I said so a few times this stream. I actually think this is going to be a cute build once we detail this and touch this up. I build a cute tunnel here to lead behind the train tracks, and El Gendo and his Miata gang have some weird herb growing going on here hidden behind the train tracks that for some reason is very well hidden from the street. I don't know why El Gendo would hide his greenhouses that well. That seems a bit suspicious to me, but who am I to judge? And one of the favorite new custom assets we've gotten added as well. I'm not using too many yet, but this. It's something very small, something very simple, but these power lines, holy god, are these power lines stunning. It's a small asset, right? And it's mainly this force cable here in the bottom. It's also that the poles look a bit cuter than from the vanilla ones, but really, I love it. And I've been having an absolute blast since the editor dropped. In fact, I did not have any time to look at the editor myself or continue any map making or decal making or anything in that regard, because I've been loving the game and having so much fun that I just open the game and play the game. And I know that both Andy as well as Clovis have been very helpful for the shooting range, and we did a lot of progress on the shooting range today, which I think I'm gonna finish the last few things off stream. But I would like your critical US perspective on what we've done here. This is our competitive tryhard range, I guess. This is where the actual experts go shooting. They also have the best targets and the biggest range, I guess, with the most professional looking targets as well. So this is one of our ranges with these race targets. Then we have this range, which this is for the absolute shitters. If you never shot a pistol before in your life and you wanna shoot a glass bottle or you wanna shoot a barrel, then this is your place to go to. This is where you would find me. If I ever go in a gun range, I will be one of the shitters standing here shooting at the barrel, while you cool people will stand here or maybe here shooting your rifle. This is supposed to be our main rifle range with different kind of targets where you can, I don't know, shoot at the car if you feel like it, or shoot at the hay targets or the hanging targets, anything you feel like. And then as a very last one, we have this small pistol range, which again is not too much difference. It's a bit different, it's a bit more dense, and obviously it's a lot smaller range. All of them have some different kind of, I don't even know how you'd call them from, but the place where you shoot from, and some different targets. Yeah, I spend a lot of time on building all of these. Like, all of this has been a lot of work. As you guys know, we don't currently have custom or copy-paste yet. So, yeah, building this is not just building one and then copy and pasting it, but it's moving all of these manually. So, slightly painful. I feel like maybe it's been worth it. I've not fully decided yet. I appreciate it. That makes me kinda look forward to ending my stream, which, looking at the clock, I will have to do very soon anyway. So not too long and I will be able to have a look at it. Thanks for posting. And Clovis, as an immediate and most obvious answer, you have extra landscaping tools disabled in your current playset, right? Because if you don't disable it right now, and your problem is fixed, because extra landscaping tools is not yet updated, will give you immediate crash to desktop. Okay. I figured, because you're not living behind the moon, you're living in Florida instead, which may be behind the moon in some regard. But yeah, I figured, just asking to make sure. I'll have a look at your logs after stream as well. I'll check out the cute screenshots by JFC, and I will have a look at your logs. Because really, you seem to be the only other person to have the slightest bit of problems I heard of is Obelix, who also seemed to not be able to get into his old city and started a different one for now, which I'm very surprised, because he's the only one who I heard so, and you're the only one having crashing issues I heard of as well. So I'm sure it's resolvable. But yes, painful to have those streams where you're crashing over and over. I have a nice anecdote for Cities that some of you will laugh over, because I think I'm generally fairly positive with this game, and I'm generally, even with issues, kind of relaxed and whatever, they'll manage, it's get better eventually. Yesterday I could hit a table and, I don't know, I was shortly booking a ticket to the Paradox offices to give them a very angry stare. I'm not a violent person, so don't worry, I wouldn't do anything horrible. I would go there and tell them I like their game and then not shake their hand and give them an angry stare or something. Because what happened yesterday was wholeheartedly believable. My game kept not loading many mods. No matter the playset, no matter what I did, my logs were without fault, no problem, every single time. Everything was wonderful, everything was perfect. Even people like Triton, who knows everything about this game, looked at my logs and were like, mate, I don't understand. There shouldn't be any problem. Nothing is wrong. What happens is if you have a very high amount of mods while loading the game, now the PDX server actually needs to communicate with your game. And if your number of mods is so high that that takes a moment, sometimes a mod tries to load already before it's gotten an answer from PDX and then it fails. So to fix my issues yesterday, I literally just had to block cities from accessing the internet. The most random fix I could have never thought of. I only tried that because El Gendo said somebody solved his problems with blocking CS2 from the internet. And I was losing my shit after multiple hours of troubleshooting, getting more and more tilted. So I was like, okay, at this point, whatever, I'll try everything. Whatever anybody tells me, I'm gonna give it a shot. So I did it and it worked. So now with blocked internet, my game works wonderful. Don't do this, don't block your CS2 from the internet unless you face a problem where some of your mods are loading. This is a problem very few people will face. This is a problem you only face if you have an exorbitant high amount of mods in your mods folder, and you will very clearly and visibly see that some of them aren't loading. If that is not happening, don't block your game from the internet. It won't do anything better. And let me catch up real quick on chat because you guys are fast. Can you send me the Google location of that, Andy? Because I know we've been looking at a few gun ranges, and I guess now we're nearly done, so I'm probably not gonna change the world. But I would love a Google link of that. Maybe I can find something nice in there, and I'm gonna seal that out. And thanks for the nice words, Clovis. Yeah, see, Clovis, I already talked about this earlier, because I made bullet hole decals 8 months ago or something, because a lot of my US memories is traffic signs like this being full of bullet holes no matter where I went. I would love bullet holes, the problem is they're too small, because a bullet hole is how big? A centimeter or 2? In this game, when you zoom out, small stuff gets hidden. So a bullet hole would maybe be visible properly till this distance. If we go here, it's already not properly showing anymore, and it looks dirty and ugly instead. So I would love bullet holes. I don't think they make sense in this game. I think decals that are smaller than 10 centimeters don't work very well in this game. Otherwise, we would have them already, because I made an entire collection of nice bullet hole decals, and then after a lot of testing and reloading and trying, I deleted all of them and threw them away, because I don't think it works properly. Sadly, otherwise I would love it, and I'm gonna probably give it another try. Now we can use vanilla decals, but I don't think that is gonna make any difference. The problem is how soon he fades out small elements, right? And since those elements are really small, they get faded out very early. And at that point, yeah, again, you would not see them anymore already. I have all of that enabled. That should not cause any issues. I have all of the modular blocks by StarQ enabled. Yes, some of them are not properly working at the moment, and he's working on replacing them and updating them, but they will not harm your game. They are not a problem for stability. So that is not a problem. I mean, Clovis just subs to everything. Like, the moment something comes up in the mod store, Clovis clicks subscribe. So I am fairly sure Clovis just subbed to some nonsense. Again, I'm gonna have a look at that. I'm honestly, Cons, I'm also happy it worked out. I'm also a bit sad it worked out, because now no 3090 for me. Just throw it in my general. I don't have tech support in my Discord. I don't want to give tech support to people. Like, neither am I knowledgeable enough, nor do I have enough time to give tech support to many people. But some people who I have a special place in my heart for, like you, Clovis, I gladly always give tech support to. But I'm never gonna put a tech support channel in my Discord. Please go to any other Discord but mine if you want tech help. Unless you're a friend and long time hanger rounder of my channel, then you're obviously welcome to share all of your problems in my Discord. But generally, the best address for problems will be the CSM, like the modding Discord, because they know a lot better than I do. And yeah, JFC, thank you so much for tuning in and spending so much time with me today. I hope I can catch another stream of yours soon as well. And again, thanks for being here. I don't stream on a schedule, so maybe see you soon, maybe not. Depends a bit how busy my work is in the next few weeks. Christmas generally is always very stressy because I have a very big family. So I fear, while most people look forward to peaceful and relaxed holidays, I think my holidays, as usual, will be fairly stressful and probably a time where I don't stream as much. But let's see, I'm not sure. But yeah, no worries. I also need to hit the bed very soon. In fact, I should have stopped streaming already, but then I'm having fun, so I'm still here. And this is why we never like to place decals too early, because that decal does not like us to, or allow us to change the color anymore. So we do this, we go back, and we Control Z. I actually love that. That's a great idea. And I also hope JFC's seen that. I wish him good night, because I was catching up on chat, so I seen that very late after he said it. Probably was in bed already when I reacted to it. What was the sarcastic joke? The one of not wanting to give tech support? If so, nope, that was entirely me being serious. Again, mainly because I cannot give any proper tech support. Nowadays, I'm a bit better at it, but there is people who know 1,000 times more about the game than me, so rather go into CSM, where all of them provide tech support, than try to get help from somebody who knows worse than them. Or maybe I did another silly joke. A lot of what I'm saying is silly nonsense, so likely. Yeah, I actually was a bit surprised by the asset editor. I would have updated a lot of my packs otherwise, because I finally kicked myself in the ass and given most of my stuff proper icons. And I have 2 packs as well waiting to be released that I wanted to release, but then suddenly the asset editor came out, so I didn't. But soon. I mean, I'm using them, so I'm enjoying my own decals, but I cannot probably release anything right now, so you guys will have to be a bit patient. And I think with a look at the clock, I will jump onto Twitch real quick and see who I can raid. I would have raided you, Clovis, but I guess good you raided me instead today, because while having tech issues, at least I personally am always sad if I get raided and I'm just sitting there struggling with the game. So again, thank you so much for the raid. I'm gonna check real quick. Maybe there is somebody who I'd like to raid, else we can also raid. But yes, it's a no-brainer. Kodiak is playing right now, so I will send you cuties over to Kodiak, who's been very nice and supportive, and in general is a great and fun streamer to watch. So I'll send you cuties over to Kodiak. And as always, thank you cuties so much for tuning in. Very appreciated. If you enjoy my streams or would like to catch one of them again in future, I don't have a schedule. So the easiest to catch my streams is to join my Discord, where I ping before I go live, or just follow me on Twitch instead. But with that, thank you so much for tuning in, cuties, and I wish all of you an absolutely wonderful evening and good night. And with that, bye bye, cuties. Enjoy your time over at Kodiak. Okay, I always say bye too early and then it's an awkward moment of silence, but here we go. Bye bye, cuties. Thanks so much for tuning in.